Before the video starts, check out my official Discord with the links in the description down below or on the screen right here for mobile users. We are a fast growing community with over 140 members and growing fast with active people within. If you want to join and speak to new people about the anime we all love, or speak to me personally and get custom perks and more, then check out the Major Dragon Discord and join our growing community within the Dragon Force. Now let's get on with the video.
Frieza is one of the most dangerous, evil, and most powerful characters in all of Dragon Ball. Also, he has one of the highest transformations of anyone in the show, aside from some of the main cast. Now, for those who don't know, Frieza's true form is his fourth form, or they call it his final form. But yes, his fourth form that is most recognizable, that is his true form. Now, the issue was that Frieza was so powerful, he had a hard time controlling his power. So he purposely recessed his forms and went back. So he has his first form, second form, third form. And that is what Frieza used for a long time in his life until he trained and he got stronger. Then he didn't really need the forms anymore. He really just needed his final form, and then he unlocked Golden and etc. So what if Goku went down a similar line? Went down a similar path to where he was so powerful that he had to recess his forms? Well, I'm going to try and make it as realistic-ish as possible, as of course something like this would not make a lot of sense, but I will explain the best I can. Now, if this video gets 400 likes, I shall continue on to part 2. Now, let's get into the what if. Bardock has found out that their son has been born. Now, when he sees that this version of Goku is actually been born a few months earlier than the original, his power level, Bardock noticed, being the smart scientist he is, that his son is special. He was automatically born in a strange fur form, and he couldn't explain it. He was different than the others. His S cell count is off the charts. Now Bardock had to keep this hidden, so the scientist who even birthed him and saw him magically disappeared. And he told Genie that he'll begin working on his son because his power is so obnoxiously high that one misstep can destroy the whole planet, and we'll explain what happened and why. So, he knows that Frieza fears a Super Saiyan, and that fear can turn into destroying their portal without a thought. If Frieza wanted to do so, the planet could be wiped out, and Bardock knows this, so Bardock makes a hard choice. He found a way to increase the Saiyans' S cell counts and to mutate Goku even further, or recess them and keep them locked away, as he found out that his son within the tank can transform, turning Super Saiyan 2, 3, and then his true form. That power alone was shaking the entire planet, as any scouters nearby shattered instantly. As Bardock slammed buttons, forcing his mutation and the S cells to be locked away and to recess, this is when he would then revert back through the forms, recessing his power, and he was back to base form. Bardock would then wipe sweat across his forehead, as that was close, as his son was so powerful, as he would forcefully lock away his S cells potentials and his true form under technology and DNA. Now, he knows that this will not last forever, but he knows that the form with the strange red fur transformation that was so powerful that nearly blew up the planet is having no control, so he would make sure to lower it, and then he would realize as he's going down each transformation, recessing it more and more, his mutation would recess. Instead of a red form with the hair and his tail and everything, he would then revert back. And then he would lose the fur, he would still have a tail, but his hair was very long, similar to Raditz, but he had no eyebrows. And then once we reverted back again, it was just sharp golden hair. And then it dropped being less sharp, but still the golden hair, and then back to normal, as normal jet black hair. He knows that his son is the legendary Super Saiyan, but that power alone is so strong that if they don't find a way to control it, it will obliterate the entire planet. Well, now, we would then have, once when all that's settled and done, he would do that, he would also keep his power as low as possible, putting it to 2. And the reason why he put it so low is so no one will suspect anything. Why would they think that there was somebody that powerful with a power level of 2? That's impossible. So they would be confused, as their scouters did read in this general direction. So when they did see the incubation chambers, they would scan for any children that might have an abnormal power level. Frieza would do this personally, and any Saiyans that were near the area. So even Bardock was scanned for his power level, and his power level was at around 10,000, which was really powerful. But it's not the super. It was not that powerful. It's not a Super Saiyan or anything that could threaten Frieza. And they scanned every single infant child that was there, Nothing. Now, we'll talk about Broly, but Broly's a different case. Broly was already sent off. Let's just say he was. And even if he wasn't, they would have sensed his power level was 10,000. Maybe that could have been an instance for then Paragus to then flee with Broly, but that's a whole other subject. Now, just to remind you as well, as just some clarification for the forms, because one misstep in his true form as an infant would blow up the planet. He could get mad with getting no candy and he could blow up the planet. So his forms work similar to Frieza, and I will explain it. His quote-unquote first form is his base form. His first form at full power, and Frieza actually used this before he went to his second form in front of Vegeta. He actually got a bit bulkier, and he actually ripped out of his armor. That's when he went full power. We will make this Super Saiyan for Goku. So he utilizes the full power of his first form, and he goes Super Saiyan. That's the true power of the first form, is Super Saiyan. His second form would of course be Super Saiyan 2, his third form, Super Saiyan 3, and his final form, aka his true state, is Super Saiyan 4. Now Bardock makes sure that he cannot access these forms until his body has grown into adulthood and he has better control over his power. Now, most of the events of Dragon Ball would unfortunately happen with Bardock sacrificing his life. They would still send off Goku to planet Earth. And Planet Vegeta would still be destroyed, as Frieza would still have the fear. It was actually, spoiler alert, people have not watched Super, it was actually because Beerus told Frieza to blow up the planet because he was angry that the Saiyans gave him a pillow that was the second comfiest in the universe. That was the actual reason. Not because he was afraid of a Super Saiyan, and even if he was afraid of a Super Saiyan, it wouldn't have really changed much. He's Beerus. But either way, though, this is now when we're going to cut forward. And now, Goku would still land on planet Earth. He would still meet Grandpa Gohan. Now, Grandpa Gohan would still raise the boy just like his own. Goku would still fall and hit his head just like the original, and most of his childhood would go the same. Now, here's one instance, though, that some people might talk about. Well, Major Dragon, wait. If he does transform into a Great Ape, would that class as a form? Yes, that would be his own separate form. And you could say that since he already has Super Saiyan 4, he doesn't have to go into a Great Ape state. But we're going to say that he still turns into a Great Ape, as that's still the Saiyan transformation. As he would still turn into a Great Ape, as you don't need S cells to become a Great Ape. So that's not connected to his forms. He's still in his suppressed first form. So he would still turn into a Great Ape, and he would sadly kill Grandpa Gohan in the process, but he would then survive on his own, growing up and surviving. Now, he would still meet Bulma, as Bulma was on her summer vacation searching for the Dragon Balls. She would still meet Goku, and she would discover that Goku actually owns one of the Dragon Balls. It was the 4-star Dragon Ball that Grandpa Gohan originally had. Now, of course, Goku and Bulma would then team up, and they'll begin their search. Now, Goku and Bulma would still meet Master Roshi, and he would then give them the 3-star Dragon Ball and the Flying Nimbus as rewards for them bringing his turtle back and giving him water. And yes, they would still defeat the terrible Oolong. Now, Oolong, of course, will follow them along, and they will still get the 6-star Dragon Ball. Now, cutting forward to the next day, Goku, Bulma, and Oolong would still meet Yamcha and Puar. Now, Goku would still be defeated by Yamcha because Goku was starving, and remember, when Saiyans get extremely hungry, they're not as powerful as they originally are. Now, one thing, Major Dragon, why isn't Goku more powerful? Well, I could just make Goku as strong as Frieza was and make his first form be 530,000 if I wanted to, but in the end, that wouldn't make too much sense. That would defeat the whole purpose as to why he can't control his power. And mind you too, Frieza also was suppressed even in his first form. He wasn't at his full strength. And as well, Frost Demons, or you could say Arcosians, work a little bit different than Saiyans. So since Goku's a Saiyan, one misstep, you're in trouble. When Arcosians are born, they're practically adults. Since true, they're born in ice, but they've been in ice for tons of years. So that's the reason why. And they're pretty much fully a grown adult in their species when they are born. So that's the reason why Frieza, who was still pretty new in the reboot, he did look childish, but he still had a full adult mind. So that's the reason why. Goku's an infant. An infant can't control his strength. So Goku's power level is still extremely low. Bardock purposely set his power level to be very low, but he was also not worried because he sent him to a planet that has pretty much no threats. It's a very weak planet. So he knew that when Goku grows up, he'll be more powerful enough to easily handle himself. And also too, we'll see how strong Goku gets, as especially when he starts training and learns how to control his strength, and especially learns how to control his energy, you will see how powerful Goku's going to start getting. It's going to be a little bit ridiculous. Now, this is when Master Roshi would still use a Kamehameha to put out the flames on the Frying Pan Mountain. Now, although he did destroy the mountain along with the castle as well, among the debris they did find the 7-star Dragon Ball. Goku would still defeat the Boss Rabbit and his gang. Now, mind you, in this timeline, they would still see the Dragon Balls from Goku. Now, Pilaf would still summon Shenron, Oolong would make his dirty wish just like before, since Goku's still not at his full power yet. He hasn't been fully trained. Grandpa Gohan did teach Goku the basics. He taught him how to basically take care of himself, how to survive on his own, and of course, how to read, write, manners, not math very well. But he also learned how to defend himself if he needed to. But he never really taught him energy. Goku and them, they never really seen energy. No one's seen it until Roshi showed up for the first time, showing the Kamehameha, or the Kamehameha wave. Goku would still turn into a great ape and destroy Pilaf's castle, defeating them. Now, this is where a pivotal step will begin. Once when Goku and Krillin become Master Roshi's students after finding Launch, Roshi would then move his house to a larger island. Now, originally in the movies, this is when the Sleeping Princess Double Castle would then take place in the movie, but skipping that part. Roshi, Krillin, Launch, alongside with Goku, mainly Launch, he's just making lemonade. Goku and Krillin will begin their treacherous training over the next 7 months. Now, some people may ask, does Goku have Frieza's potential? I'm going to say no. And the reason why I say that is because this is not a what if Goku had Frieza's potential. If he trained even for 7 months, even as an infant, I'm telling you right now, he would literally be able to fight almost blue level characters by that point. So it wouldn't really make sense to give him that power because he'd be too powerful too instantly. He'd be the most powerful character until Super, which is ridiculous. So no, he does not have Frieza's potential. But Goku's base form is extremely powerful though. Mind you, he's just going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, for some people, they might want to know, well, how strong is Goku's true form? And you can just subtract that and go down. Well, power levels past the Frieza arc are pretty useless, and if we go down that path, it will take way too long. But let me just clarify that Goku is absurdly powerful. And he's only going to get stronger because he is training. So, as Goku is getting stronger, his forms will continue to grow alongside of him. So the boost is still there. He's just not in his true form. So no one actually knows what the real boost for Super Saiyan 4 is. As some people speculate that it's 10 times that of Super Saiyan 3. Some people speculate it's 100 times. If you want to go a simple route and even say that it's 10 times, that's still a 4,000 times increase to his base form. Goku, when he started training under Roshi, had a power level of roughly around 50. So if you times that by 4,000, that means that his Super Saiyan 4 state, or his true state, if he went into it currently, would be well over 200,000, that's his real power. That's his normal power, like his normal form. So that shows you that he's already absurdly strong. And yes, that's why he's in a recessed state. He can't control that power. That's ridiculous. So now, they would then begin their tough training on Master Roshi. They would then spend the next 7 months training. Now, Goku is training his body, which is really important, especially when he wants to use more of that power. The one difference is too is he has to be careful because he has to learn how to control his energy. As you know, if you don't control your energy correctly, you don't have good ki control, you're in a bad spot. Because that way Goku can make one misstep with an energy blast or more, just his power alone can blow up the planet. But he is getting the hang of it. He learns how to fire the Kamehameha, and he does learn the basics of energy. He will really start to grow in ki control when he starts training with Kami and Popo, but we'll get to that in a minute. Roshi does note on when he does sense Goku's power, he knows that Goku has so much power hidden within him. It's locked away, it's hidden potential. And Goku needs to master not only the body, to train his body to be durable enough, but also his spirit and energy, so he can learn to unlock this pool of energy and power that Roshi believes that Goku will become the strongest in the world if he can unlock this. So they would then continue their training, continue to get stronger, increasing the weight of the turtle shells on their backs to 40 kgs, and getting stronger and stronger. Now, Goku's, I would say, potential is a little bit higher. And the reason why I say this is because he's unlocking power that he already has. Bardock just kept it away. So as he's training it and learning how to use it, his power is rising actually at a faster rate.
He's just unlocking more power that he already has by getting stronger in his form. So Goku by this point already has grown a lot more powerful. I would say he's starting to unlock very extremely small percentages of his power, to where I especially think, especially when he fights Master Roshi in the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, and Roshi pushes Goku, I definitely think that Goku would probably ump his power a little bit. Even if it's just a small percentage, an extremely small percentage, I think when Goku fights Roshi, his power level will bump up even by 100. So Goku originally was roughly around 120 when he fought Roshi. Or, around 120 to 100, and I would say like 150. Now, if that's the case, then Goku would probably be in the 200s to 300s by this point. He is getting stronger. He's getting stronger because remember, his S cell count is also higher than normal Saiyans. And the higher your S cell count is, the more potential you will actually start gaining. And the more chances you have of getting more powerful forms, because that does link up to potential. Now, Goku would actually have defeated Roshi, especially since he got that little power up, and he notices how much stronger he feels. He feels way stronger. And Roshi would realize that you're starting to unlock more and more of your power. But now, of course, Goku is still a child, and he's not even a grown man yet. Saiyans have a weird growth spurt, as they look pretty much the same until they're about 16 years old or older. Once when they hit about 18 years old, they look like a full-grown adult. They have a really fast growth spurt within about 2 years, which is strange. And then they stay in that as that same body size and age and adulthood until they're in their 80s, and then they slowly start aging. So it's pretty weird, but pretty cool. Well, Goku would have won the World Martial Arts Tournament, and he still would have ate all the funding away. Now, this is when the Red Ribbon Army would start looking for the Dragon Balls. And then sooner, the next day, Goku would then begin searching alongside the Red Ribbon Army, fighting back and forth. Now, since Goku is much more powerful, even if his power level was around 220 to 250, I would say around 230, he's already too powerful. The Red Ribbon Army has no chance. He would have easily defeated Colonial Silver. He would have easily taken down White Corporate Muscle Tower. He would have easily defeated General Blue. And he would have still met Ariel as well. And he would have also fought Mercenary Tao. Mercenary Tao is very powerful, but against Goku, unfortunately, there's nothing that Mercenary Tao can do. Goku would have easily defeated him. And he would have defeated Mercenary Tao pretty easily. He would then realize about Korn's tower. He would then begin climbing the tower himself and training under Korn. Now, since he isn't really under the next about 3 days of training, since he defeated Mercenary Tower early, he would have a few more days to train. And I feel like this is when Korn would actually give Goku the real Ultra Divine Water, which Goku would have to go get. If Goku does unlock it, we don't know the actual boost of the power, but we know it's around a 1.2 times boost. So if his power level was roughly around 230 times, I would say around a 1.1 to 1.2 times boost, his power would be around 276 to around 280, even and out. That would make him a lot more stronger. In terms of Dragon Ball terms, he would already be stronger than Demon King Piccolo. So if he's around 280, he would easily defeat the Red Ribbon Army, and he would also still fight in Fortratella Baba's battle arena, and he would still fight his dead grandfather. Now, this is when over the next 3 years, he would begin training to run around the world, and his power would only continue to grow because he is getting older. He's going from 13 to 16. He is getting older slightly. So his power will start unlocking slightly more. But he won't be able to utilize his first form's true state yet and really learn about his other forms later on. He does know that he does have power, and he can definitely feel it, but he would need the help of Kami and Popo to really help him. And when he's a full-grown adult, he'll actually be able to really tell, and when he's way more powerful in terms of noticing energy, that he does have other states to transform into. But we'll get into that in a minute. Our Goku will get very powerful very quickly, and you will see why. So, over the next few years, he began training one around the world. Now, of course, in the Cow Village, he would then fight the Plague and Terror. Goku would meet Master Chin and fights the Sky Dragon. And the Master of Martial Arts contest, Goku enters the Demon World and fights Shula, surprisingly. And Goku would also save Inoshikachu, and he would also meet Tien Shenhan for the first time. But now, of course, we would then have Goku swim to Papala Island, where the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament would take place. Now, by this point, I would say that Goku would be from around 280. I would say he would get a little bit stronger. Even if he's unlocking more of his power, and he's getting more powerful in his first form. He hasn't even utilized the full power of his first form yet. Not even close. So I would roughly say that his first form, I would definitely say he's probably at around 300 to around 300 and I would say around 320. So he has gotten pretty decently powerful. So he would have easily defeated Tien, since Tien's power level was around 180. And this is also when Krillin would still be tailed by Tambourine. Now, when Krillin would still be tailed by Tambourine, because Goku was unexpecting it, came out of nowhere, Demon King Piccolo would still arrive. Now, this is also when Goku would still be Yajirobe, and he would easily kill Tambourine with absolute ease. He would cross paths with Demon King Piccolo. Now, on original, he was easily defeated. This time around, he's not. Demon King Piccolo is even old as well, he's not his full strength. Goku would have easily defeated Demon King Piccolo. Master Roshi and Chaozu are also not killed by him as well, and Demon King Piccolo would not be able to use the Dragon Balls to restore his youth. Now, in the original, he did attack the King's Castle and take over Earth, and then Yajirobe carried Goku to drink Divine Water again, and then he would also fight him once more. This time around, they don't need to. Goku is way too strong. He would have annihilated Demon King Piccolo, punching right through his stomach. This would still make Demon King Piccolo still spit out an egg, thus making Piccolo. Now that he was actually defeated, this is when Goku would begin his training with Kami and Popo. This is a massive pivotal point for the What If, as most of the Dragon Ball story kind of went similar. It's just that Goku just got a lot more powerful in the end. Now, Goku, with the help of Kami and Popo, they would really help Goku learn to master his spirit and master his energy. True, Goku has the physicality down, he's as durable as they can come, but Kami notices that you have special power. Now, Kami would then utilize, as he would help Goku, and over the next 2 to 3 years, they would then realize that Goku does have something special. It's almost like these limiters are placed on his body. Kami would even state that this is not your true self, Goku. Goku was confused. He states that these limiters seem more like a form or a state. You're in a recessed state. You're not in your true form. And Kami would explain that we will help you try to unlock this power as best to our ability. So, Goku would then spend the next 2 to 3 years training under Kami and Popo. The biggest change is when Goku begins training in the Room of Spirit and Time. Since Goku is way more powerful than he originally was, I think he would be able to survive it, even if you want to bear it for a couple more months. But one thing that Goku realizes while he's in the Room of Spirit and Time, he's thinking about quitting the Room of Spirit and Time because of how hard it was to even survive in there. He would then realize that he can utilize his new form. As Goku can, when he hits adulthood and he's over 18, he's in his adult body, he can feel it. It's strange to him. He can basically feel the power locked away within him in these forms. He just kind of knows. And this is Bardock doing this to Goku. When Goku was old enough, he would then realize his own power. Bardock thought ahead. Goku would then begin powering up, pushing his first form unto its full power. He would then realize that his hair would begin rising up as his power is skyrocketing. Now, in terms of his in terms like holding back, now his normal first form state, not at full power, is, I would say, definitely in terms of Room of Spirit and Time, and he's also training with Kami in them. I would definitely say his power level easily is well over, I would say around 500, which is even lowballing it. But now he's going into his full power state now. And now his full power state would be Super Saiyan. And remember, this is power that he already has. He just learned to unlock it. And now he can tap into it as a form so he doesn't blow everything up. The power was massive. When he turned Super Saiyan, he never felt so powerful in his life. And yes, he does have good control over the form. One thing to realize too with Frieza was when Frieza utilized his transformations, it didn't hinder his stamina at all. As a matter of fact, whenever he transformed into his other states, it actually healed him and he was back to full strength. When Frieza was in his final form though, and he went full power and he bulked in size, that's when he had stamina issues. And the reason why is because he's not really using that much stamina, if you think about it, until his final form. Because these forms are just him holding back. So why would they drain stamina if his body's already used to these forms? It doesn't make any sense. That's why when he went to his full power state in his final form, he went 100%, his body's not used to it, that's when he would have problems. So if Goku went Super Saiyan 4 and went full power, aka full power Super Saiyan 4, then the form will not last very long until he trains in the form and learns how to control it, as that was Frieza's fatal mistake. But his power level as a Super Saiyan, or quote-unquote
his first form at full power is 25,000, which is absurd. He's already the most powerful character in terms of Dragon Ball, as he's going to beat Raditz pretty easily. Now, once when Goku would then be on Kami's lookout, Kami and Popo were shocked to see Goku's power. But Kami knows that Goku does have more, but Goku's struggling to unlock it. Goku would then state, well, I still need to kind of learn how to control my energy, but with time I'll start getting better and better at it. Now remember, Goku's still 18, yes, but he still needs a couple more years to get used to it. The fact that he already has pushed his first form state to his full power is kind of ridiculous. Goku can go into his second form. He did it in the Room of Spirit and Time. But when he did, the power was so overwhelming that he struggled to contain it. I know Super Saiyan 2 is just a 2 times boost, but still, the power alone was very strong. He could barely contain it. It would be more of a hindrance in battle to use it. And while the Super Saiyan form, aka in his full power state, he doesn't really feel that much of a strain or an issue. His body's more attuned to it. So he just needs to train his body more to get more used to it and better learn to control his energy. That's the biggest hindrance. So he will continue to do that. But he can, if he has no choice, he can go into Super Saiyan 2 state. He just really struggles to stay in that form, and that would make him lose concentration in the fight, just to mind you. He has to be focusing to kind of control the power so it doesn't implode. Well, 3 years have gone past, and I know some people will get upset about Goku. Who's he going to marry? It's still the same version of Goku, so he will still get with Chi-Chi. Sorry, fans. I know some people like Bulma, but it makes no sense for him to get with Bulma because he's still Goku. He still technically promised her when he was a kid. He still met her as a kid. So that would still happen the same. He didn't know what food was either way, and he didn't really know that it meant food. He realistically thought that marriage was some kind of dish that you ate. That's why he said, oh, he'll definitely come back and try it. So yeah, that's the whole stick around it. So he still thinks that way. So yes, him and Chi-Chi will still get married. Now, everybody was really happy to see Goku. And yes, Goku has a power level around 500. He's really strong. And yes, when Piccolo Jr., aka Piccolo, does show up, their fight will be pretty intense. Now, Piccolo, we're going to say his power level is roughly the same. So he's roughly around 316 to like 324. So he is powerful. But against Goku, he has no chance. Goku's far above him. Even Goku had like 10 to 20 power level more than Piccolo. I think Goku was around 330. Piccolo was around 316, 320, something like that. And Goku was kind of mixing them up pretty badly, which is pretty big in Dragon Ball. Even a small 10 to 20 power level difference is big. Goku's nearly 200 more. So yeah, Goku would beat the brakes off of Piccolo. It wouldn't be competition. Piccolo would still try and get the upper hand on Goku. Now, what will happen here is Piccolo was on the ground defeated, and they would begin counting, as most of the ring was actually completely destroyed. Now, when Goku dropped his guard, which is still a bad habit that he has, Piccolo would then fire a blast, which would then shoot through Goku's arm. This would still severely wound Goku, but it didn't hit none of his vital organs. But now Goku's severely wounded, though. His base form, his power is almost cut in half because of how bad Piccolo wounded him. He destroyed his arm. So now what is Goku going to do? His power level will go from 500 to roughly about, I would say roughly about like 250 to 300. As Piccolo's just overpowering him, Goku would not have a choice. In anger, he would then go into his full power state. Even though his power level was at 250 or even lower, he would then showcase his full power of his first form state, aka he would transform into a Super Saiyan. Now, everybody would be shocked to see this, except for Kami, of course, who knew that Goku had this power. Even Goku's power level is over 12,500, which is overkill. As then Goku with one arm would then charge in. He can only hold it for a short moment because he's so injured. He would then deliver a massive blow to Piccolo's stomach, nearly killing him, knocking Piccolo out of the ring, and he was done, defeated. Goku would then revert back to normal, and they would then give Goku a Sensu Bean, and he recovered fully. Now, Kami was threatening to kill Piccolo, but Goku would then stop him. Goku would then tell Kami not to do it, and the fact that, well, if Piccolo dies or Kami, then either or, then they would die as well, and there would be no Dragon Balls. Which would then shock everybody else, but Goku would then spare Piccolo. Piccolo was a lot more wounded, but Goku still gave him a Sensu Bean, and Piccolo would then recover. Piccolo would then fly off, daring that he's going to have revenge.
Goku and Chi-Chi would still be together, they would still have Gohan. Now, some people want to clarify, wouldn't Gohan be way more powerful because his S cell count is higher? Well, this is not the Gohan what if, this is a Goku what if. And Gohan's potential is already insanity as is. Adding more potential to Gohan would be just ridiculous. It wouldn't really make too much sense. So Gohan's still going to be the same. It's not going to be much different. His potential's already busted as is, especially the current Gohan. He doesn't really need to add on more potential already. And even if you did and you want to make him similar to Goten, that would be even more busted, because even by the time he was around 7 to 8 years old, he was already rivaling Frieza in terms of power, and he only trained with Chi-Chi. Yet he was able to keep up with Trunks, who trained with Vegeta and Gravity. So, yeah, that just goes to show you how busted some of these characters are. But no, Gohan will be the same as he originally is. So Gohan will still be born. 5 years would then pass. Now, over the next 5 years, Goku has kind of slacked off his training. He stated so himself. He didn't really do anything special or anything like that. I will say that he probably would, in his free time, other than Chi-Chi yelling at him, I feel like he would definitely continue to train his spirit and how to control his energy better. And, continue training here and there and raising Gohan. And Goku, by this point, I definitely believe he can definitely go into his second form. And he can control it by this point, if he needs to. He is dabbling in his third form, but that form is extremely unstable. And as we know, Super Saiyan 3 is pretty unstable form. So he tried transforming into it once, but it nearly destroyed everything around him by accident. So he's not ready yet to dabble in those kind of waters. But he does have a Super Saiyan 2 transformation, or his second form. He does have that one pretty well down pat over the past 5 years. Now, Raditz would still arrive. Now, Raditz has no idea what Bardock did. Obviously, Bardock kept it hidden, so no one knows about it. Only him and Gine did. So Raditz doesn't know about really Goku's mutations. He doesn't know about Goku's forms. He just knew that his brother had a low power level and he was sent to Earth. And Vegeta and Nappa told him that if you failed, we're probably going to kill you. And Vegeta's not one to really break his promises. He's one to really keep them. Well, this is when Raditz would then arrive on Earth, and he would still arrive on Master Roshi's island. And he would then meet Goku. Now, originally, he told Goku all about the Saiyans, all about it. Oh, one other thing as well, would Goku still have his tail? Well, I'm going to say no. And some people might be mad and say, well, how would Goku be able to turn into a Super Saiyan 4 transformation? And it's because he doesn't really need the tail. If you guys remember, and now in canon, in Dragon Ball Daima, he doesn't need the tail. The tail automatically appears when he goes Super Saiyan 4, apparently, which a little sucks, but I'm just going to follow that route and just state that even though his tail has removed, he still has the form within him, so when he transforms, the tail just appears. So if that makes you feel better. Now, Raditz would then realize that Goku's tail is missing. He would get upset about it. And yes, Goku would still be confused on who he is. He doesn't have much memory, anything like that, because Raditz would explain, well, you must have had a head injury, explaining your nature. He would still explain to Goku that I want to see 100 dead people on this island, and then maybe I'll consider inviting you. Goku would, of course, refuse. Outright refuse him. Why would he want to join his quote-unquote brother and hurt innocent people? Raditz would then tell Goku that you do not have much of a choice. As Raditz here, he would then try to grab Gohan. The one difference here is Goku, again, did not do much training, but his power level is higher. His power level is around 700. He is in his quote-unquote base state, meaning that he's holding back massively in his first form. So when Raditz goes to try and knee Goku, Goku would then power up his first form state, and he would then catch his leg and then throw Raditz backwards, because Goku has gotten stronger. Remember, his power level is roughly about 700 or so. Raditz was kind of impressed. He was able to block a simple attack, as Goku was able to conceal his power level. This has been a normal thing with characters Raditz's scouter was not prepared for. With Raditz now pretty impressed, he would give Goku one more chance, as he did see his power level was roughly around 700. Not that bad for being on a backwater planet, but against him is nothing. His power level is 1,200, 1,500. What can Goku do against him? Well, Goku would then take Raditz away to the islands nearby, and Goku would then begin fighting Raditz. Goku would then utilize and show Raditz his full power. He would then just turn Super Saiyan, which is quote-unquote his first form, at his true power. Raditz was blown away with how strong Goku was. His scouter shot past over 30,000 and then it blew up. and he yelled the number out before it blew up. So guess who heard that number? Oh yes, it was Vegeta and Nappa. They couldn't believe it. 30,000? That's impossible. Scatter must be busted. But it has piqued their interest though. They want to go check that out. So Vegeta and Nappa, they would then start turning their course and heading towards planet Earth. One other thing as well is when Raditz realized how strong Goku is, he can't fight that. There's no way. Goku's a Super Saiyan. Look at him. The golden hair, the blue eyes, the aura. Raditz can't fight that. Now Raditz here, he has two options, as I know that Goku is the forgiving type. That's just how Goku is. But Goku would not take a chance with Raditz. Raditz went too far. He attacked his friend Krillin, slapping him to the house, and he tried hitting him, but he also tried taking his son Gohan. Goku would give Raditz one chance. He would tell Raditz to leave the planet and not return. He always does this for all of his villains. He always threatens them to leave and never return. Raditz would definitely take a hint. He would rather try and suck up to Vegeta and Nappa than try to fight that. So, he would then fly back and meet Vegeta and Nappa halfway. Now, he would explain that Kakarot's a Super Saiyan. He's telling them he is. His scouter blew up. He had golden hair, blue eyes, and the aura. Now, would Vegeta and Nappa believe him? I don't think they really would, because they don't really respect Raditz that much. But Vegeta would then be interested, though. If his power is as high as Raditz says it is, then it might be interesting to go check it out. He would also ask Raditz, did Kakarot have a tail still? And he said no. He says, well, if anything bad happens, we can just go Grade Ape and defeat him easily. Since remember, if Vegeta goes Grade 8, that's 180,000. So by this point, then Vegeta would then kill Raditz, as he did keep his promise. Vegeta's not one to break his promise at all. So now, Goku would then meet up with Kami, as Raditz still did threaten that there are two Saiyans that overheard him, that will be on their way, and they are more powerful than he is. So he does know about it. So now, Goku knows that they need to continue training and to get stronger. So now Goku would then go to Kami, and no, this time around, Goku will not go to King Kai. Goku would ask Kami if they can train here, and it'll be him, Piccolo, Gohan, Yamcha, Tien, Krillin, Chaozu. They would then all train together, and they would also use the Room of Spirit and Time. But this will be later on in the training, as it'll take about a year for Vegeta and Nappa to get there, roughly. So they would use it near the end to get more powerful. Now, as for power levels originally, Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien, they were all roughly similar in power levels. They were under 2,000, but they were in the 1,500 to around 1,800. I'm going to increase their power levels because they went through Spirit and Time, and they stayed in there for a long time. I would give their new power levels when they're ready to fight Vegeta and Nappa, that Tien's power level is at 3,000. Krillin's power level is 2,800. Yamcha, 2,500. Chaozu is 1,800. Gohan, now having Goku and Piccolo as teachers as well, has a power level of 1,400. He's a little bit weaker than Chaozu, but remember the rage boost. As for Piccolo would kind of warm up to Gohan and them, and he's not as evil as he originally was. So Piccolo does change, but he knows that they need to defeat the Saiyans before he can try fighting Goku again for a rematch. Well, Piccolo here has actually gotten a pretty decent buff. Piccolo's power level originally was roughly around 3,000. Piccolo, against going up at Nappa, who Nappa's power level is roughly about 6,000. 5 to 6,000. And as you know, even 1,000 power level difference is actually massive when it comes to Dragon Ball scaling. So, Goku, how strong is Goku now? Well, we'll get to Goku in a minute. Piccolo's power level is from about 3,000. I would say it's about 6 to 7,000. As remember, he trained with Goku and Gohan in the Room of Spirit and Time. The reason why he could go in there is because he only needs water. He doesn't need physical food to eat. So, he could survive off water just fine, so Goku and Gohan can eat all the food, while Piccolo can just drink some of the water and he's good to go. Now as for the main man himself, Goku has gotten a lot more powerful. Goku is stronger than Piccolo. Piccolo has a power level of roughly around 6,000-7,000. Goku's power level is at, I would say, around 8,000 to 9,000. So he's pretty much the same power level that he was if he would train with King Kai. The Room of Spirit and Time really helped them, because that literally gave them a whole other year to train. Now, When Vegeta and Nappa do arrive, of course Piccolo and the others would then team up to fight Nappa. Now Nappa wouldn't have time to lay down the Cybermen because why would they need to? Because the fact that everybody's there, they're not waiting for Goku. So we would now have Piccolo fighting Nappa. Now I'm just telling you right now, Piccolo would easily overpower Nappa. The fact that Piccolo has more martial arts skills, more better techniques, and more, he would easily overpower Nappa and defeat them. As well, when Goku goes to fight Vegeta, Goku would handle himself roughly similar against Vegeta, but he's holding back. Vegeta wants to see this Super Saiyan power. So, when Goku has a power level of roughly around 8 to 9,000, we're going to say 8,000 just to be nice. 8,000, when he powers up to Super Saiyan going to full strength, his power level is 400,000. And Vegeta would say that he's a Super Saiyan as his scouter would then explode. But guess who heard that on the other end? Frieza. Frieza heard it. Frieza heard it? Super Saiyan? That's impossible. But Vegeta did say that. A Super Saiyan. Well, Frieza says that's a bit of a worrisome. He would then send Zarbon and Dodoria and a bunch of their men to then head towards Earth. And he'll also send the Ginyu force near that area if Zarbon and Dodoria need help, as he wants to see if the Super Saiyan thing is real. It will take them about a month or so to reach them, but they'll get there. Well, Vegeta would be easily defeated. Even if you have Nappa, who would definitely be killed by Piccolo. Piccolo's on Demon Time, so he would have killed him. Vegeta, Goku would give him one chance. Goku would then tell Vegeta to get off this planet and never return, as he didn't like how Piccolo just killed Nappa, but Nappa wouldn't stop. He was too hot-headed. Vegeta knew when he gave up. Like, he was defenseless. There was nothing he could do. So he would try crawling away. Goku's not going to kill somebody when they're defenseless and they're trying to get away from him. He's not going to do that. So Goku lets him go. Even though Piccolo would not like it, Goku says let him go. Vegeta would then get in his space pod. And Vegeta would then basically start to take off and leave. On the way, when he starts to head up, and he heads to one of Frieza's planets, he would then overhear how Dodoria and Zarbon and the Ginyu Force are heading over towards Earth, and Frieza might start heading his way over there as well. Vegeta would then, as he's fully recovered, to spend a day, he would then head straight tail back to Earth, as he would then arrive to tell Goku and the others about Frieza, Zarbon, Dodoria, and the Ginyu Force arriving, as, while true, Vegeta knows that he failed, and Frieza will most likely kill him. They don't know about the Dragon Balls, they never talked about it, so he knows that the best chance is with Kakarot, and Kakarot might be able to teach him how to go into a Super Saiyan. Because if Kakarot can do it, Vegeta can do it. He's a prince. And they can kill Frieza. We last ended with Goku and his friends defeating Vegeta and Nappa. Now Vegeta was barely able to escape as Goku spared his life. Piccolo would have for sure killed him. Oh, one thing before I wanted to start. I wanted to make a public announcement for all the people that are on my Discord. I know I just promoted it 5 seconds ago, but I want to thank you guys so much because we broke over 200 members in our community, which is fantastic, and it's been so much fun. So if you guys do want to join this community, which is growing fast, talk about anime, even promote your own YouTube channels if you want, and you want to have tips and stuff from me, go ahead and go check it out. As we broke 200 members, and I wanted to publicly thank the people that are a part of the Discord. You guys are the best, and I want to thank you guys so much. Well, cutting back on into it, we now have Vegeta would have arrived back because he heard about what happened with Zarbon and Dodoria are now heading towards Earth. Now, Vegeta knows that he has no chance. Now, true, Vegeta has gotten stronger. He did get his Zenkai, and he might be able to fight Dodoria and beat him like how he did on Namek, but Zarbon and the others, and especially the Ginyu Force, he can't fight that. He would have arrived back, and Goku would have met him, and he wonders why Vegeta came back. Vegeta would explain that all about it. He would explain about Frieza, Zarbon, Dodoria, and their whole plan, because remember, he went to Planet Frieza 79, and he was able to heal himself up. He came right back. Now he also has a new scouter, aka just to hear in on Frieza and hear what's going on, as he just wants to hear on communications. He would tell Goku that within a few days' time, Zarbon and Dodoria will arrive with a few dozen men. And Vegeta quotes on how, while I might be able to beat one of them by myself, they are stronger than I was when I got here. Now, Goku's not too worried about that, because if they're not that much stronger, then he'll be able to take them down. He can just go Super Saiyan if he needs to, and easily defeat them. But now, Vegeta then states, but that's not what really concerns me. What really concerns me is the Ginyu Force. They're way more powerful than Zarbon and Dodoria, and their leader, Captain Ginyu, is the second strongest in the universe besides Frieza. Now, Goku never heard of Frieza before, but Vegeta would explain some stuff to him, and he explains that we need to be ready. And Vegeta would actually ask Kakarot, can you train me? We need to spar together and get stronger. Well, they only have a few days' time to prepare. Well, how are they going to get this strong in such a short time? Now, you could say that they do use the Room of Spirit and Time again, but remember that you can only use it so much during the whole year, if you remember, as Popo needs to gather up supplies to redo this. But they do have one little cheat code, as, remember, they can't really do the Room of Spirit and Time, but they can do gravity training. As I feel like Bulma and her father would still make up some ways to continue training them to get stronger. So, Goku alongside of his friends, they would all begin training under gravity training, but they only have a few days, so they need to make the most out of it. Now, Vegeta speculates that since Zarbon and Dodoria are stopping by a nearby planet to basically scope things out, they have around 5 days maximum. They might arrive faster than that, but it depends on how slow they want to take it. But Vegeta says that you originally was going to be here in about 3 days, but it appears that they stopped by a nearby planet to do some business. So we have a couple more days, so 5 days. So Goku thinks that's plenty of time. He can start training in the gravity. So they would all begin their training, and with all the Z fighters also training in it as well, Bulma's father would be able to make 2 of them, so it's a bit more diverse between the 2, and there's not so many people all in the same one. But they would just split up into different groups, so Goku would probably train with Piccolo, Gohan, and Vegeta, and so on, and then you would have, of course, Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu. They would all train in the other gravity as well, becoming stronger. Now, they would start out in 10 times gravity, just like the original, and they would start to overcome it within a short time, because Goku can overcome it really fast. The reason why is because of his innate ability, the fact he's a Saiyan. If you guys also remember as well, when Piccolo, Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, and everyone else, when they arrived on King Kai's world, they've only been dead for a short period of time, only a few weeks. So imagine the fact that they were able to basically control themselves under the gravity, and they've also gotten way more stronger since then. Like Piccolo went from a power level of around 3,500 to nearly over 100,000 under King Kai's training for a couple weeks, because then he fused with Nail, which goes to show you just how strong these people can actually be, but it's also for plot reasons as well. Well, now we're going to cut forward past 5 days, as when Zarbon and Dodoria do arrive, they do scan some high battle powers nearby. As Goku would have made sure that this is far away from any civilization or animals, as Vegeta doesn't really give a damn about all that. He just wants to beat them. As once when Frieza or those people are defeated and they get out of this mess alive, he wants to find out how to become a Super Saiyan as well, and he wants to find out how to beat Kakarot. That's his whole goal in the end. Now, during the 5 days, he does kind of get with Bulma a little bit, but the romance is still growing, so it's not fully there yet. But Vegeta's starting to like her, so he's not gonna, Vegeta's starting to soften up a little bit. Now, but Vegeta's too focused on his mission. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut forward to when Zarbon and Dodoria still arrived. They have about 20-30 men. And this is when Tien, Chaozu, Krillin, Yamcha, they would blitz through their men with zero effort, as these Earthlings have gotten much more powerful. In terms of power levels, you can jump forward however much you want. But personally, and this is just my opinion, if they trained under 10 plus times gravity for at least 5 plus days, and the fact that they did it on King Kai's world, they got much more powerful. Now, I know that they're also dead, so they can train much more. They can stay up pretty much the whole time. They're fine. But either way, I'm going to say that in terms of power levels, we're going to have Tien, Krillin, and Yamcha are roughly about the same, between 9,000 and 8,000. So they've gotten a lot more powerful. And Chaozu's similar. I would put Chaozu at around 6,000 to 7,000. As for Gohan is at around 5,000 to 6,000. Since remember, Chi-Chi was kind of pushing on Gohan to study some more, so Gohan wasn't there all the time. Now, as for the big boys, aka Vegeta, Goku, and Piccolo, those guys train the hardest. Now, as for Goku's quote-unquote base form, when he's holding back, his power, I would roughly put him, I would probably say at around 15,000, 15 to 16,000. As for Vegeta, now, mind you though, Vegeta is stronger base form than Goku, quote-unquote. Vegeta did get stronger. Vegeta will be at around 30,000. Remember, since 10 times gravity doesn't really affect Vegeta, remember, because he's used to it, because he's a Saiyan, but the sparring did help him. His original power level was roughly around 23,000 to 24,000, because then when he fought Zarbon, he overpowered him. Zarbon transformed, his power level was 28,000. He beat the heck out of Vegeta. Vegeta got another Zenkai. He got around 32 to 30,000. So we're going to say that Vegeta had around 5 days to spar, so he did get a little bit stronger, so we're going to say he's around 30,000. As for Piccolo, Piccolo's power level is roughly around the similar ballpark. I think he'll probably be around 25,000. So he's 5,000 weaker than Vegeta, but he is a little bit more stronger. So Goku does seem like he's the weakest, but remember, if you guys see the last What If, his forms work differently. Goku is massively suppressed. He's not in his true form at all. The max he can go is Super Saiyan 3, or his third form. But he's still having some struggles to kind of control it, since that form is extremely unstable. And he knows that he has a true form past that one, but he can't access it just yet. But he can access Super Saiyan 1 and 2, no issue. And that's way more than he needs. We'll cut to that one later on. Now, when Zarbon and Doria do arrive, they severely underestimated how powerful these beings are. As the Earthlings, they could probably fight them, no, not really much of an issue. But they did note on how the Earthlings' power levels are around 8,000 to 9,000. What shocked them that Earthlings are this strong. They've never seen Earthlings as powerful. So yeah, their 20 to 30 men would have been wiped out with absolute ease. Then you would have Vegeta step up, as he has some beef to kind of squash with these two guys. And he tells Kakarot to stay the hell out of his way. Same with the Namekian as well. And I think they'll just listen to him, since Vegeta's strong enough, he can handle his own. So now we would have Vegeta then fight Zarbon and Dodoria. Now, Dodoria will probably step up first. Remember, they can't sense power levels. Then they did scan his power level and see that his strength was at around 20,000. They note on how you're a little bit stronger, but I'm still above you. My power level is 22,000. And in Dragon Ball scaling at this time, if your power level was even 1,000 higher, you could kind of like, overpower them and toss them around. From what we saw with Vegeta, what he did to Zarbon. Well, Vegeta would then smirk and he begins powering up. As his power level shoots past 30,000, their shouters would then break. Now, guess who heard that on the other end, though, as they yelled at the power level? The Ginyu Force. So, as while Dodoria was getting absolutely annihilated by Vegeta, Zarbon would have already ran to the ship nearby, and he would have already signaled the Ginyu Force to haul it over here quickly. Now, the Ginyu Force was nearby, so they'll be in here within a few short hours. So the Ginyu Force was very close, just in case anything severe happened. And the Ginyu Force did notify Frieza that it's not going good down there, but they're going to go handle it. Frieza's now interested, so Frieza was also a little bit further out, but he's heading his way there. Remember, his ship is much faster, so he'll arrive about a day after the Ginyu Force. Well, now that Zarbon and Doria were absolutely annihilated, they would still keep the ship, which Bulma would just keep it so she can continue furthering her technology. But they then note on how, from the ship's coordinates, that the Ginyu Force will be arriving here in the next hour or two, so they need to be ready. So they would just rest up and be prepared, and the Ginyu Force would arrive at a similar location as they read the distress signal, and the Ginyu Force would then step out. Vegeta then tells Kakarot and the others that this Ginyu Force is way worse, so we need to watch out. Of course, you have Guldo, Recoome, Jace, Birder, and Ginyu, as the Guldo would then go fight the Earthlings. And if all the Earthlings will team up, they would have killed Guldo, because while Guldo's time freezing and telekinesis was actually really OP, but if they all teamed up, it would be too much for him, since they're all 8 to 9,000, and it's Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, and Chaozu, so that's 3 to 4 people all teaming up at the same time. With their abilities, yeah, they would have killed Guldo. Now, the main problem is the Earthlings can't really contribute to too much past this point because of how strong the Ginyu Force is. The Ginyu Force is at least 40,000 plus, as we saw that at least Recoome was at around 40,000 because Vegeta was able to damage him, and he had a power level of roughly around 32 to 35,000. Recoome was pretty damaged, but wasn't really affected too much. And as for Jason Birder, they appear to be a little bit stronger. Some people speculate to be maybe around 42,000 to sometimes even 50,000, because they're about tied. And Ginyu, of course, is 120,000. Now, Ginyu's interested in Goku because he heard about the Super Saiyan, and he wants to see it for himself. Well, the main problem is that if Vegeta and Piccolo team up, they would then fight Recoome, but the Ginyu Force sees that as cheating because they're teaming up. So then you would have either Jace or Birder. We're going to say Birder would then jump in and start fighting Piccolo. The problem is Piccolo is severely outmatched compared to these likes of the Ginyu Force. So Birder was easily outclassing them. This is when I think Goku would finally step up, and he would then tell them to step up and fight me instead. So Goku, again, is much more powerful. His power level is 15,000 plus. Remember, he's holding back massively since he's not in his true form. So Goku would begin to power up, and he would then explain, do you want to see my real power? Then fine. He would then power up to the full power of his first form, and he would then go Super Saiyan. As their scouters were continuing to rise, it would then shoot past 180,000 before scouters explode. Now Frieza heard this, and he's getting a little nervous since there's somebody stronger than Captain Ginyu. That's not good. And it was a pause of silence, just Frieza's worried. But Goku's power level as a Super Saiyan, even if you put his power level at 15,000, when he goes to his full power in his base form, he's at 750,000. And if he goes into his second form, that's 1.5 million. So again, he's gonna severely outclass Frieza in terms of his first form. And second form, he would actually be able to hold his own against Frieza, but we all know that Frieza has more forms than that. Well, we're now gonna cut forward to when Goku as a Super Saiyan is far too powerful. Jason Birder and Raccoon would all try to attack Goku at the same time. Goku would one-shot every single one of them, similar to how he did to Raccoon with the elbow. And he wouldn't need to use Kaioken on Jace like he did before, but yeah, they would have been completely outmatched. He would have one-shot and killed them all. Now, as for Ginyu, Ginyu would smirk as he would then injure himself, and Goku's using what he's doing. Now, Vegeta heard about this technique before. He would yell at Kakarot to watch out. He's going to use a technique on you to dodge it. As Ginyu would then yell out, change now, and the technique was very quick. It would head right towards Goku. Goku would be able to dodge it just in the nick of time by using After Image, and he would then fly up and knee Ginyu right in the back, which would shatter his back and kill him. And he actually thanks Vegeta for calling him out about that, because if he didn't, they would have swapped bodies, and that wouldn't have been good. And Vegeta states, yeah, whatever. But now they got a bigger problem, and the next day, Frieza's going to be showing up. But they do have one upside. The Room of Spirit and Time. And Vegeta explains that you have about 24 hours right before Frieza would then show up. 24 to 25 hours. So they would then all make it to the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, and they need to think of a plan. Now, you can only have roughly 2 people in there. They could technically fit Piccolo in there because of the fact that Piccolo, again, he only needs water. But it's more the fact of resources. And luckily, Bulma's here. So she would reveal some capsules that have months worth of food, on top of the fact, and tons of months worth of water, even for a Saiyan's appetite, and they're all within concealed capsules. And she explains that they are ready to eat, hot and ready. So she said that you're all good to go. So we would probably have the 3 main casts go up, as Chi-Chi would not want Gohan going in there, as we all know. As then, they would just continue preparing and getting ready, practicing their techniques. Since the Earthlings know that they won't have a lot of time to really get stronger, a day is not enough time, but they will practice game plans to take down Frieza's men, so Goku and the others can focus on fighting Frieza. So I think that the 2 people that would really go in there, and definitely is Goku and Vegeta, 100% sure. And I think we would see them grow together as best friends in a way, or more rivals, since I think Piccolo would probably stay out, and he'd probably keep Gohan training slightly alongside with the other Earthlings, and they would think more of a game plan and what to do, if you get what I mean. So they would have game plans and tactics ready. Since Piccolo is a master tactician, he's one of the best, alongside with all the other Earthlings with their techniques, and also Kami helping them out at the same time in Popo, they would start to figure out some techniques and stuff that they could use all together and team up to face down Frieza's men. That way, Goku and the others, they can fight Frieza without us getting in the way. While as for Goku and Vegeta, they would spend the whole year inside of the Room of Spirit and Time. They would continue training, getting stronger. Now, Vegeta, he would not be able to unlock Super Saiyan just yet. I know, so we might be let down, but Goku doesn't really know how the form works. Remember, Goku unlocked it the original way, in the original timeline. So he knows what it takes. You need a raging heart, but it needs to be pure, and you need to have it as a need, not as a want. And he knows how to unlock it. That's how he's able to help Gohan get it. Or push yourself beyond your limit, like how Vegeta did. But Vegeta was way stronger because, remember, this is years later. So, but we're going to cut forward to when they do step out, as they would then have torn armor, torn clothing, it was the most grueling part of the entire training, as they would take advantage of having some sensu beans, but they will leave some out. They only have 3 sensu beans left in case something really bad happens with Frieza. Goku and Vegeta are so much stronger, and it's literally ridiculous. If you guys remember, Goku got roughly 2 Zenkais, and if you want to even go roughly, you could even say 1 Zenkai, and he got 33.3 times stronger. He went from 90,000 to 3 million in 1 Zenkai. As Vegeta got a few Zenkais. He got one from after the fight between Jason Birder. He also had one before from Earth. He had another one from Zarbon. He had one from Jason Birder when he fought them, the Ginyu Force. And then he also had another one, and that was able to make him match Frieza in his first form. Then he had another one from when Krillin shot a hole through him and he killed him. But then they healed him, and then he had a big Zenkai. He was able to have a power level of nearly 2 million from having a power level of around nearly 500,000. Which is ridiculous, as most Zenkais are just plot-induced, but cutting forward, though. And the fact that they're also training in 10 times gravity, which, again, helps Goku a little bit. And with the rough environment, Goku's gotten way stronger. Way more powerful. By this point, I believe that Goku would be able to figure out how to tap into his third form. Now, Vegeta knows this, he's seen it, and this does destroy his pride, but he would explain how Kakarot is not a normal Saiyan. There's something different about him. Goku would explain to Vegeta that he feels like the Super Saiyan form is not the true form, as it feels like it's like recessed states of the real Super Saiyan form that he's about to access. And I believe, in my opinion, that near the end of their whole training within that year, Goku would be able to access his final form for the first time. Though the power is very unstable, it's a lot of power to hold, and it takes a lot of energy out of him, but it is his true form. And he is able to tap into it as a final trump card if he needs to. But he can go into his third form, and he can now go into his final form, meaning that he's pretty much in the ballpark now to where he can go into his final form, and the cycle is complete. But he still has to polish his final form a little bit, since his body's not used to going to full power. But he is getting the hang of it. Well, once when Goku and Vegeta would then step out, they've gotten much more powerful. Even if you wanted to lowball, Vegeta went from around 30,000. His power level now will be well higher than that. I would probably put Vegeta, and this is being nice, at around 2 million, which sounds ridiculous, I know, but remember, he got so many Zenkais within the span of a couple days. So imagine a year fighting, not to mention fighting a Super Saiyan Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Goku, even further than that. So it's not too far-fetched that Vegeta would get some pretty insane Zenkais. And they had a handful of sensu beans when they went in there. So yeah, they're cracked. They're really busted. Now, what about Goku, though? Now, mind you, though, Goku is a little bit weaker, of course, than Vegeta, because he's holding back in his true power state. Now, Goku, within his full power state, I would put his base form when he's holding back, so he looks like normal base form Goku, he's not a full power, is 500,000. Which is a big buff in power, but we'll get to how strong he is in a little bit. Now, once when Frieza does arrive, he brought most of his men with him, so he has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of men. Now, luckily though, Piccolo and the others, they all have strategies, so they'll handle all the men, and they tell Vegeta and Goku to go handle Frieza. Now, Vegeta wants a piece of Frieza. He wants to battle him now. He tells Kakarot to stay out of his way. Now, he doesn't know about Frieza's transformations because Zarbon didn't tell him, like he did on Namek. But you could say that maybe Goku could sense that Frieza has more than what he's showing. And maybe Vegeta can sense that too, since he can sense energy. We'll get to this in a minute. As Piccolo and the others, they do have strategies. So they'll begin using these strategies, annihilating Frieza's men, since his men are not that strong. They would then all team up and take down his men, alongside with Gohan and the others. Vegeta would then step up, and he would begin powering up as Frieza scouted, then shoots past 500,000, and it would then blow up. Frieza was amazed as he tells Vegeta that in my current state, you probably could beat me. He's just amazed with how strong these Saiyans have gotten, but he's holding back. He would explain that he has many more transformations other than this one that he didn't even show them. So, would Frieza go past into his second form? I would probably say yes. So I think Frieza probably, because remember, his scouter went to 500,000 before it blew up. So I think he would try out his first form and then jump forward to his second form. And Vegeta was easily outclassing Frieza. Frieza's power level was around 1 million. and he was being outclassed. Vegeta was too strong. Frieza would then go into his third form, and his third form is roughly about 1.8 million. It is a bit of a closer fight, but Vegeta is able to manage himself, so Frieza knows that he needs to stop playing around, as he thought Vegeta stronger than he thought. And this other Saiyan is really complexing to him with the fact of how strong he is, but Frieza couldn't tell because he didn't scan his power level, he scanned Vegeta's. So Frieza would then go to his final form, and Goku's now a little bit worried because Frieza is abnormally it's ridiculous how powerful he is. But he hasn't seen his full power yet, but he's confident that he probably could beat him. Vegeta was getting cocky, though, as he thinks that he's going to unlock Super Saiyan, as he thinks he does, as he continues to battle Frieza, but Frieza would begin easily outclassing Vegeta. Vegeta has no chance. The fact that Vegeta was also tired as well, at the fact that he was also fighting other forms of Frieza, Goku would then come in and stop Vegeta, telling him, that's enough, it's my turn. And yeah, you're going to lose. And Vegeta would not say nothing, as he would then smirk to Frieza, telling him that you're in for a rude awakening, Frieza, as Kakarot here is the Super Saiyan. I've seen it with my own eyes. Frieza would be shocked, then he begins laughing, saying that that's impossible, as there's no such thing as a Super Saiyan, it's just a myth. Well, we would then have Goku begin to power up, as Goku's power level was 500,000 in his base form holding back. He would then go into his first form, full power, and he would basically unlock Super Saiyan, thus having a power level of around 25 million. Now, this would shock Frieza, as he's never seen a transformation like this before. It must be true, it's a Super Saiyan. Now, Goku would then fly in, and he would start to overpower Frieza, since remember, Frieza was holding back. And Frieza was getting overwhelmed. Frieza would have some battle damage as Goku fired a Kamehameha at him. Frieza was able to block it with his hand, and he said that really hurt. Frieza would explain that he's never seen a Super Saiyan before, but this power is incredible. He would explain, but if that is your true power, then I'm not impressed yet, because I've only used like 1% of my power. Frieza would then use 50% of his power, which is roughly about 60 million. And he would begin overpowering Goku, until Goku would then go Super Saiyan 2. He would go into his second form, bumping his power up to 50 million, and he would be able to match Frieza once again, and it was a crazy battle. Now, Frieza didn't know that the Super Saiyan, that there was more than one transformation. Goku explains that he's actually not using his true Super Saiyan power. This is almost like him holding back some of how Frieza is with his forms. It's a similar transformation. And Frieza was a bit angry, though, that the Saiyan is what he's probably saying might be true, because he does look different. His hair is more spiky, and he has electricity around his body. But now Goku states that he needs to end this quickly, though. He states, while the third form is very powerful, and he has some good control over it now, it's still a little bit unstable. He needs to be careful and focus. But he would then begin transforming, as by this point, Piccolo and the others would have defeated all of Frieza's men, and Goku would then transform into a Super Saiyan 3, aka his third form. And by this point, his power level is 200 million, meaning he's too strong. He practically beat everybody. And as well, adding on top of this, I also want to point out the multiplier for his final form will be around 10 times Super Saiyan 3. And the reason why I put it as that is because Super Saiyan 3, quote unquote, is roughly about 400 times him holding back. So some people like to say that the Super Saiyan 4 from Dragon Ball Daima is roughly about 10 times stronger, lowballing it as well. Some people say it's 1,000 times, some people say it's 100 times. I'm going to say it's about 10 times. So his power level would be about 2 billion if he went to his final form, which he can if he needs to, but he can't hold it for too long. But anyway, his third form is all he needs. Frieza was getting absolutely annihilated, but Goku does want to fight Frieza at his strongest. Now, Frieza might think about trying to blow up the planet, but the problem is Goku would just stop it, seeing how fast he was. So Frieza would then go 100%, and this is what Goku wanted. They would clash once again, and while true, Frieza is way more powerful, Goku was easily outclassing Frieza, and no matter what Frieza did, he just couldn't beat Goku. Goku's way too strong. Now, Goku knows that he cannot control this form for too much longer, since it does take some energy to hold it. He's going to get rid of Frieza once and for all. But he does show some compassion. He does give Frieza one chance to leave and never return. Frieza's, of course, not going to listen to that. So Frieza would then try blindsiding him by trying to fire a cheap shot. Goku would block it, and he has no other choice. Goku would then fire an angry Kamehameha, stating, "You fool," and he would completely annihilate Frieza. There is no remnants of Frieza left. No Mecha Frieza. He's dead. This would also mean that King Cold would never show up to Earth, because while true, he did hear about his son losing, he only really cared because Frieza wanted to go to Earth to fight the Saiyan. King Cold had zero care that Frieza got beaten, whatever. He just found his body, and he put Frieza back together as Mecha Frieza. But past that point, he didn't really give a shit that Frieza was basically want to go back to Earth. He told Frieza, you're wasting your time. If you lost, whatever. But yeah, King Cold would have no care. He would think his son was weak, and he would continue doing his own thing. So there's no King Cold arc, as it wouldn't make too much sense for him to actually come to Earth. As you could maybe say he might come to Earth because they offended the family honor. But again, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because why wouldn't he agree to go with Frieza to Earth originally? He only did it because Frieza begged him to, and that's why he agreed. So that's the whole point. Now that the Frieza arc was finished, they never went to Namek, never met Elder Guru, Piccolo never fused with Nail, but I think by this point, we'll cut to Piccolo fusing with someone else soon, Kami. Now, what about the Android/Trunks arc and Cell arc? Well, it would go by a little bit quicker. And what I mean is this is the original timeline Trunks. From the original future timeline, he would have still arrived, and he would have been shocked to see Goku's here. But he would have still met Goku, gave him the heart virus medicine. They would have still shown Super Saiyan between each other. Goku's, of course, not as powerful as Trunks in the state, but still, Trunks would give it to him, explain when the androids are arriving about 3 years' time. That would all go the same. Goku began training with Piccolo and Gohan for the next 3 years, helping them get stronger. Vegeta would also stay with Bulma, as their romance is now fully there. Vegeta will continue training under gravity to try and unlock Super Saiyan, just like how Kakarot can. And now, once the 3 years are up, would Goku get the heart virus? Yes, and the reason why is because it was stated that the heart virus actually came from Earth, and it was a disease that actually killed a lot of people, and Goku is on Earth. So when Goku goes to fight Android 19 and etc., he would have a bad time because the heart virus would then take effect. So Yamcha would have to take Goku away, just like the original. So Goku was bedridden for a while, but he was able to take the medicine in time, so he's slowly starting to recover. Now Vegeta would still arrive, and he does have Super Saiyan. Now, in terms of power levels, they are roughly comparative to each other, since it does kind of even out. Now, we do say that Vegeta does do more intense training because he's trying to keep up with Goku, so that could happen potentially. So Vegeta does have Super Saiyan, who would have easily defeated Android 19. Dr. Gero would have been able to escape, barely. Now, Piccolo was able to get his power back because he did fuse with Kami early. Now, he did fuse with Kami, I would say a couple of months before the Android arc would happen, because Piccolo needs to become more powerful. So Piccolo is not fully there in terms of how strong Android 17 is, but he is extremely close, and the match would have been maybe a bit more one-sided, but Piccolo would be able to hold his own a little bit. Well, they now know here that Piccolo would then go fight the androids like he originally did, since Android 17 and 18 and 16 would still be revived. Now, Cell would still arrive from that future timeline after he killed Trunks, so the original Cell is here. And no, he's not a unique Cell that has any cool forms or anything flashy. It's the original Cell. Now, Android 17 and 18. Now, remember, Goku, in terms of showing off power, they did see. Now these androids are based off of the fact what they saw with Frieza. So they did see Super Saiyan 3, so they know that Goku has something weird. And yes, his power was very high, but other than that, he didn't really tap into his forms as much when he fought Piccolo and Gohan. So the androids are roughly comparative in terms of strength. So when you now have Cell arrives, this is when Piccolo would then go fight Android 17. Android 17 was overpowering Piccolo a little bit more than the original, but Piccolo was able to hold his own due to his techniques and his skill in terms of battling. Well, Cell would still arrive, and he would still annihilate Piccolo because Piccolo was already tired, and he would still trick Android 17 into fighting him, which would then make him absorb him, becoming second form Cell. Now, Android 16 and 18 would be able to get away because Tien was able to distract them by using the Tri-Beam. Now, Vegeta and Trunks also went inside the Room of Spirit and Time, and they stepped out. Vegeta, who already has Super Saiyan, he did get beat up by Android 18 like before, which humbled him a little bit, but he's still cocky. So Vegeta would then go to fight second form Cell, and he would unlock Ascended Super Saiyan. But unfortunately, with Ascended Super Saiyan, he was overpowering Cell's second form, but he's becoming way too cocky. And he makes one of the dumbest mistakes in the entire show when Trunks tries to stop him, but he allows Cell to absorb Android 18, thus making the most perfected being, the most perfected being in any What If that I've ever done, Cell. Well, Cell would be toying with Vegeta the whole time. Vegeta had no chance, and Cell would even mock Vegeta and tell how much of a fool he was, and yeah, Vegeta was getting overwhelmed. Even when Vegeta would fire his final flash, it was not enough to beat Cell. Cell was just way too powerful. Well, Cell would spare Vegeta, and he was planning on maybe killing him. He was thinking about it. Vegeta was kind of strong, but no one's really given him a fight yet. That's what Cell wants. He wants to fight somebody. And he wants to fight Goku really bad. He knows that Goku has more transformations and he's really powerful. They've seen in the data. He wants to fight Goku. We'll get to that in a minute. Well, Trunks would then go into his Ultra Super Saiyan form, looking like a knockoff version of Broly, and he would do okay against Cell, but while he does have a lot of strength, he's able to kind of keep up with Cell a little bit. Cell is far too fast. Cell would even tell Trunks that while true, you are a lot more powerful in terms of strength, but your speed is horrendous and your stamina is lacking too. You lacking. You ain't perfect. Cell would annihilate Trunks, knock him out of the way, but he would decide to spare them as he wants to hold a tournament within the next 10 days. So, Goku would have recovered from the heart virus, and Goku thinks that he probably could beat Cell, as Goku has gotten much more powerful. Now, we could jump into power levels if we want, but it will kind of be redundant past this point, because past the Frieza arc, power levels are redundant. But Goku has become way more powerful than he originally did, even in his base form holding back, because he's training. So yes, Goku, at his full strength, if he goes into his true form, he would probably be able to beat Cell, but he's not 100% sure since he kind of has to gauge Cell first. But Goku did that in Super Saiyan, so you can see where he stands. He doesn't want Cell to know about his true form since he never really showed it yet. He only showed them a spare time. But he's gonna wait. He wants to train and make sure that Gohan's strong enough as well. So him and Gohan will still go into the room of spirit in time, just like the original. And with Goku's help, I feel like Gohan will be able to, with Goku pushing him, I think Gohan would pretty much be about the same strength that he originally was, on top of adding Super Saiyan. Would he unlock Super Saiyan 2? No, because remember, he's half Saiyan. You need a lot of rage to unlock that power. And Gohan's just not there yet. But I will say, though, that Gohan is roughly about the same strength. So he was able to catch up, become stronger. Piccolo would still go in the room of spirit in time on his own, just like before. And he did get much more powerful. Way more powerful than he originally did, but roughly the same thing. Now, Vegeta and Trunks, would they go back in there? Maybe. Goku would even mock Vegeta, stating, if you want to go back in there, be my guest. Goku would then enjoy the next couple of days on Earth, as Cell did promise it, so Goku's going to agree to it. There's no point going early. So they would enjoy the rest of the couple days. Really enjoy their time. Chi-Chi really had a good time as well, if you guys understand why Goten's born. But we would then jump forward to the Cell games. Now, Cell had a very traumatizing time, everybody. Every time that he made the Cell Games Arena, which is like the 12th time, it always was in circles, not squares. And why was there always a green spot every time? Luckily, though, on like his 40th try, he finally has it done. There's no green squares. There's no circles. It's perfect. He doesn't understand why. It's almost like Zeno forced it upon him. You guys understand TFS? You know where I'm coming from. Well, Cell, after all that trauma, he's now good to go. Well, we would then now have Goku step up first to go fight Cell, as that's what Cell wants anyway. Or would he? I think the difference here is he would have Gohan fight Cell first. Goku knows that he can beat Cell. He knows he can. But he wants Gohan to prove to himself that he can fight really well, and in case of Goku would still have that kind of mindset where, what if he's not here one day? What if he dies? Like the heart virus could have killed him. Or, someone powerful enough to beat him. He wants his son to carry on in case he's not around. And that's the whole point of him fighting Cell first. It's also good because he can also kind of see how Cell fights, since he's never seen it. So he's 100% confirming that he can beat him. And Piccolo would hear Goku talking to him about that. And he says, but this is also for Gohan to get some confidence and fight Cell. So Gohan's fight with Cell would be pretty intense. Now, Gohan would struggle a little bit more because he didn't really see Cell fight. But Gohan, again, he's still gentle-natured, but I feel like his fight would be kind of similar between him and Goku. It was very intense, though, and Cell's pretty badly wounded. But Goku would then do one of the dumbest mistakes ever, and he would still do this. He would give Cell a senzu bean. Which, I know, it's ridiculous. He explains to Cell that he wants to fight Cell when he's at his best, not when he's tired. And so Goku would then step up, and Goku would then transform into a Super Saiyan, and the fight would then begin. As the fight was pretty intense, but Cell was showing to have the upper hand. He was overpowering Goku. Goku would then go Super Saiyan 2, which again gave him a slight edge, but Cell was still holding back. He's not at his full power yet, but they're fighting pretty well. Goku's comparative to Gohan in the state, but Cell's still holding back massively. Well, Goku would then go Super Saiyan 3, and this is where he begins to start overpowering Cell, And yes, because remember, Gohan apparently got 2 times stronger and he was slapping up Cell pretty bad, adding on top of the fact of a rage boost, but either way. Goku has a Super Saiyan 3 in his 3rd form. He was overpowering Cell at this point. Cell would then use his full power. Goku would deliver a massive blow to his stomach, thus spitting out Android 18. Krillin is saved. He has a wife. And they would then take Android 18 away. Cell is back to his 2nd form. Now, Goku would not waste time with Cell like how Gohan did, and Goku would fire a massive Kamehameha hitting Cell, thinking that he obliterated Cell entirely. But Goku failed to realize about Cell's DNA. Cell had one small cell, quote, remaining, and he was able to regenerate. Goku instantly felt it, but they couldn't see where Cell was because he was far off in space. Cell was able to fully recover from this, and now Cell is more perfect. He's super perfect. He's perfect. Cell is more perfect than ever. So now that Cell is in a super perfect state, or a super Cell, he's gotten much more powerful, and his fight with Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a bit more one-sided. Cell was able to overpower Goku until Goku would then get up and smirk as he would then rip his top G off, saying that he's been wanting to show this. And now he would finally, for the first time, fully transform into his true form. His original, or I say his max form, but his true form. As everybody could see this, Goku would then transform into a Super Saiyan 4. And yes, I'm using the version of Daima. Sorry, GT fans, but I'm going to use the canon version. I'm sorry. As everybody was shocked to see this, Cell was completely blown away that this is Goku's true form. Goku would explain that, well, all the forms that anybody's ever seen him in, that was just his... It was similar to Frieza's forms in a way. They were kind of recessed and held back. This is his actual true self, what he was born with and how he was. Cell's in some trouble, because Goku's easily 10 plus times stronger than this. Cell would get beat up severely bad. Cell would have no chance, as there's nothing that he can do against Goku. Goku's way too strong. As Cell would kind of run out of options, he was thinking of blowing himself up, but no. Cell's too saucy for that. Cell would then charge up a solar Kamehameha to hit Goku. Goku was surprised with the energy that Cell is able to accumulate, but Goku does have one trick up his sleeve to beat that. He's been wanting to use this. So he would then grab his massive fist that now has Monkey Fist. He would then charge up all of the energy that he has, and it would go into his fist, which was now glowing. Cell would then fire the attack as Goku would then fly right in full speed, hitting the attack head on, and then he would scream out Dragon Fist. And a massive dragon, golden with red highlights as well, of red energy, would then hit Cell's Kamehameha and engulf it and swallow the attack, which means that Goku was flying right through it, and he would then hit Cell, completely annihilating him. Cell has no remnants of him left. The attack was so massive that Cell was completely obliterated. There's zero trace of him left. He's completely vanished. He's gone. As Goku would then raise his fist in the air, as the dragon roars in the sky, Goku has finally won. Now everybody would then run over to Goku, and they were really happy. Now they were in awe of Goku's form. They'd never seen it before. Vegeta was kind of pissed off because, well, he wants that form too, but whatever. Vegeta would accept, though, that Kakarot is better than him, because power like that, he can't achieve that in the future. Vegeta knows that Kakarot's something else. He's a freak of nature. He's always been since they first met. But now, of course, Goku would then start to revert back into his base form, since he kind of likes being his old Goku self again. And also, that Super Saiyan 4 power is a lot to manage, but he kind of likes being old Goku. Kind of likes, you know, not being a hairy monkey. Chi-Chi would freak out and cheese him like that. Well, this timeline, Goku lives, meaning that Goku never went to the other world, so we never learned about the fusion dance, he never learned about etc. So, yeah, he would never go to the other world for 7 years, meaning that he's an actual good dad. He would not leave to get cigarettes. This also means that Goten and Gohan would actually be stronger. Gohan, in terms of relative, he did not unlock Super Saiyan 2, but I feel like when he's older, I think he can access it with Goku's help. Goku helping him, his SL count would be high enough, he'll be able to access it with Goku's help getting him angry. Gohan would not be a slouch, and would I say he's massively stronger? Massive taper fade? No. But I will say that Gohan is not a slouch. Gohan, in terms of power scaling as Super Saiyan 2, is comparative to Vegeta and Goku in the original Buu Saga. As for Goten has one of the most busted potentials. Since Goku's around, Chi-Chi can't stop him. Goten would just train with Goku all the time. And he would have already unlocked Super Saiyan, let's say about the same age, about 7 years old. And yeah, he's ridiculously powerful. And Goku is continuing to train, continuing to push his forms, and he does have some new stuff in the basket, but we'll discuss that one on the next one. We last ended with Goku finally defeating Cell using his true form. Now, I know some people wanted to ask, well, why wouldn't Goku just stay in his true form, which would be a Super Saiyan 4 state? Well, Goku easily can, and that would make more sense for him to be together in his final form. But at the same time, Goku is also not like Frieza. Frieza doesn't really care what people think, so that's why he goes to his final form. Well, as for Goku, remember, his wife, his friends, they're all used to Goku being in his base form, aka his first form. So they're used to him looking like normal Goku. So if he does go to his final form, aka his Super Saiyan 4 state, he'll just be really different. And if Goku did do that, which I wouldn't be surprised if there was a scene to where he did show his final form to Chi-Chi and she flipped out, yeah, that's the reason why Goku doesn't really stay in that form. And it's more or less Goku's taste to kind of hold back, and then he kind of gradually rises in power as he fights opponents. That's Goku's whole thing. So why would that change for the what-if scenario? So Goku's going to stay in his first form state, but of course, he can go into his fourth form, aka his final form, whenever he wishes. So, we are now going to cut forward to when Lord Beerus would then begin to stir awake. But we're not going to cut to Beerus just yet, because the reason why I'm saying Beerus is starting to stir awake is because he sensed the power of Super Saiyan 4. Goku's so powerful. But we're not going to jump to him just yet. Beerus is starting to stir in his sleep. We have one more arc to cover, and that is the Majin Buu arc, which would end a lot faster. So, it would still be 7 years apiece, as Goku would continue training, getting stronger. Now, what about Dragon Ball Daima? We'll talk about that one right after the Buu arc in just one moment. So, when Goku and his friends go to the World Martial Arts Tournament, and they meet the Supreme Kai just like the original. This time around, Goku's not dead, so Goku does not have a time limit, and he doesn't have 24 hours, and etc. So Goku's able to do whatever he wants. Now, of course, Vegeta does have some resentment towards Goku, because obviously, he wants to surpass Goku, but he can't seem to get stronger than Goku. He is getting there. He unlocked Super Saiyan 2, but he can't unlock those other forms just yet. Goku's way stronger than Vegeta. Well, Vegeta would still have his fight against Goku in the World Tournament, but before they could have it, though, Spopovich and Yamu would still be there. Now, mind you, what about Gohan? Well, Gohan would still continue his training because Goku's around. And yes, he would still study and do his normal thing, but he's not rusty, so Gohan is still getting stronger, as Gohan can train a few times and not even get rusty at all. Goten has gotten much stronger because Goku's around training him all the time. And you saw how Goten trained with Chi-Chi for a little bit and Gohan, and he was able to keep up with Trunks, who they're both comparable to Frieza, and which is kind of insane if you think about it, because Trunks was training in 300 times gravity with Vegeta. Goten just did some sparring outside of his house and threw rocks and learned how to fly, and he was that busted. Now, when Goten goes to fight Trunks in the junior division, he would absolutely annihilate Trunks in their match. Trunks doesn't have much of a chance, as Goten in his base form is able to keep up with Trunks even in his Super Saiyan state. And when Goten goes Super Saiyan, he outmatches Trunks and wins, making him the winner of the junior division, which Chi-Chi would brag about for a long time. Now, as for Gohan and Videl, they would still get together. Gohan still goes to Orange Star High School, becoming the Great Saiyan Man and / the Golden Fighter. That would still go the exact same. Now, the one difference here is that Gohan is not as rusty, so he's not as weak. So, when he sees Videl getting attacked by Spopovich and he goes to fight the Kabito Kai, he will still go Super Saiyan 2, as I believe over 7 years he would definitely be able to unlock it with Goku's help. He's way stronger. Way stronger. He's stronger than Vegeta and Goku was when they originally fought each other during the Buu arc in the original. So Gohan is already stronger than that. I would say not as strong as Fat Buu, as Fat Buu's way stronger than that, but I would say he's slightly stronger than Goku and Vegeta was as they fought each other. Now, when Gohan still has his energy taken, as Supreme Kai would freeze him, it was all part of his plan, as they need to follow the energy to go find Babidi's ship. So Spopovich and Yamu would then fly off, as they have more than enough energy to revive Majin Buu, having over double that. Well, when they do arrive, Babidi would be able to resurrect Majin Buu. He does have enough energy. This also means that he would never take over Vegeta's mind, because he doesn't need Vegeta to fight Goku. And in my opinion, if he did try to take over Vegeta's mind, Vegeta would reject it, because he knows that Kakarot is stronger than him, and he wouldn't win even with the Majin control. He also can fight Goku whenever he wants. He's already fought Goku multiple times throughout the years, and Goku's won each time, but still, Vegeta knows that Kakarot's better than him as of right now. So Vegeta's not as tainted at heart, and he's more kind of relaxed, as he's accepted the fact that Kakarot's number one for now. So if Babidi did try to take over his mind, it wouldn't have worked. So, Majin Buu would have still been resurrected. Now, Gohan would still have his energy recovered and he's fine. Gohan would go fight Dabura, and we know how that would go. Gohan would absolutely annihilate Dabura, even if he was just in Super Saiyan. It's overkill. Because the fact of how Dabura was around comparative strength to Perfect Cell, but a little bit weaker, and Gohan in Super Saiyan 2 was struggling. So, could you imagine if Gohan was, 2-3 times stronger than that? Yeah, he would have annihilated Dabura and defeated him. That would also mean that Piccolo, Krillin, and the others would not be turned to stone, so yes, he would have easily killed Dabura. Now, the Kibito and Supreme Kai are interested in Gohan, as they do see his latent potential is incredible, so they do offer to train him after all this is over. Now, Majin Buu is still born, and Vegeta wants to go up first to fight Fat Buu, as that's just a Vegeta thing, so Goku would let him. Well, Vegeta would do pretty well, as since Goku is around, Vegeta's fought him a bit more, having a few more Zenkai, so Vegeta's a little bit stronger, but Fat Buu is too busted, as any damage that Vegeta does to him doesn't work, he just heals, and he overpowers Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and defeats him in the battle. Now, Vegeta's not going to blow himself up like the original, because, again, he's not sacrificing himself, he's not Majin anyway. Well, Goku would then step in, and he knows that Fat Buu is not evil. He knows that he's almost like a naughty child. He just doesn't know any better. So he would then transform into his second state, aka Super Saiyan 2, and he would begin to fight Fat Buu, and again, he would be able to keep up with Fat Buu pretty decently, as he is much more powerful than Vegeta. Now, Goku knows that Buu is extraordinary, and he's an incredible fighter, so he would then go to his third state, and even go into his final form state to overpower Buu, practically like Buu was nothing. It was overkill, honestly. Super Saiyan 3 was overkill. Even in his third form, he was overpowering Buu easily, but he didn't want to kill Buu. He just wanted to have a good fight with him. And he would then trick Buu and basically kind of make Buu change his mind about Babidi, and he would have killed Babidi. Babidi would have died. Or Piccolo would have killed him as well. Buu would have changed his mind, and Buu would have went to go live and go do his own thing. Now, we know originally that Majin Buu had to cause some chaos for Mr. Satan to find out, but Mr. Satan could just hear near his city that there's a pink monster around. Mr. Satan thinks, oh, that's easy pickings, I can get really famous. So he goes and he finds Majin Buu. He still meets Majin Buu, they become best friends, they still have B the dog, but unfortunately, other people found out about the monster in the woods, and it was a bounty hunter, or you could say an assassin. They shoot and almost kill Hercule alongside B. Majin Buu would heal them both, but he would snap, and thus separating. Now, Goku would sense this happening. He could sense Buu's power level rising, and he could sense that it almost splits apart. But one is pure evil and stronger than the other one. He would then fly their full speed to go help Buu, since he doesn't know what's happening. So Majin Buu was still fighting Evil Buu, but when Goku arrives, it's too late. Fat Buu's been turned into candy, and Evil Buu is already transforming, and he can sense his power level skyrocketing. Well, unfortunately, he has now become Super Buu. Super Buu instantly does spare Hercule, as he sees that Hercule's a good guy, and he has the good memories of Buu. He instantly wants to fight Goku, because he remembers that Goku's a strong guy. He instantly recognizes him, and he wants to battle him. Goku would, of course, accept. So Goku would then go to his third state, and he would then begin fighting Super Buu. Now, Super Buu does have the slight advantage over Goku initially, since Goku's not going full power yet. Goku would then go full power in his third form state, and he would be able to fight Super Buu actually a lot better and hold his own. But he knows that good Buu is in there, but he doesn't know how to get him out. Well, Goku knows that he needs to basically make Super Buu try to absorb him or turn him to candy or something. So what Goku would do is Goku would then go into his final form, aka his fourth form. He would then transform into a Super Saiyan 4, and he would absolutely annihilate Super Buu in their matchup, Vegito style. He has no chance, he can't keep up with him. Well, Buu was waiting for him to transform because he's seen it, as he would then try to absorb Goku. Goku would then form a ki barrier around himself, just in time like how Vegito did, and then he would then be absorbed. Now, Buu thinks that he won. The other Z fighters would then arrive, as Buu would then go into almost a comatose state for a moment, as he recognizes that Goku's power is not with him yet. What's happening? As Goku would then fly through his body, he would then find the chambers that did have Fat Buu. As Super Buu would try fighting him, Goku would still pull Fat Buu free, and he'd be able to escape his body. Super Buu would then scream in agony as he begins to mutate and transform once again. As Vegeta and the others are shocked to see that he does shrink in size, he looks more like a kid than anything else. And yes, he has now become the Black Air Force monster, Kid Buu. Well, Kid Buu would immediately smirk and he would try blowing up the planet. Goku was strong enough so he would be able to stop it. Goku and Kid Buu's fight would then commence, but Kid Buu's weaker than Super Buu, and Goku's way beyond Super Buu. Goku would easily overpower Kid Buu in their matchup, and he would still respect Buu for what he is, and while he does charge up a powerful attack, he hopes that Kid Buu will come back as somebody good one day, and then he would have fired a full power attack, and he would have annihilated Kid Buu, thus ending the Buu arc much faster. And Fat Buu was spared, even though they wanted to fight him. Well, they let him go because Buu is now pure good. He's not evil no more. All the evilness that was inside of him is gone. That was in Kid Buu. Well, now that there was peace, Lord Beerus has now finally awoken a few years later, as he did almost wake up because of a power that he felt far off, but now he's fully awake as his long nap is now done. He tells Whis what's been going on. Whis explains everything like before, how Frieza was defeated, shocking Beerus. He explains that there's a Saiyan with extraordinary abilities, alongside with a few others. Beerus is immediately interested and he wants to go check it out. So, Beerus would then head right towards planet Earth. Now, Goku was around this time and he was hanging out at Bulma's 38th birthday party, and they were all eating food, having a good time. Beerus would still arrive and he would immediately recognize Goku. He was inspecting Goku, looking him up and down, lifting his arm, and he says, "Now I can see how you beat Frieza, but I learned that you have other transformations as well." Vegeta was freaking out, and he would tell Goku who Beerus is. Now, Goku's immediately excited because he wants to fight Beerus. I mean, he's apparently the most powerful being in the entire universe. Why wouldn't he want to fight him? Well, Beerus first wants to try out some of this Earth delicacies, as it looks fantastic. So he would still try out the food just like before. And I think he would still get irritated about the pudding, but I think since Goku's there, Goku might be able to snatch one away from Buu fast enough and give it to Beerus. So Beerus doesn't have a full-on tantrum. That was a lifesaver. Now, Beerus was really satisfied, but Beerus originally talked trash about Earth and talked about destroying it, partly because he probably would have, but mainly because he wanted to push Goku. He wanted to see Goku's full power. Now, one thing before I continue, what about Daima? Well, in the original, Goma and them turned Goku into children. And if that was the case, Goku still has Super Saiyan 4. And yes, Goku can still use it as a kid, as we saw. So Goku would have been able to defeat Goma on his own, and yes, they still would have won the battle. So Dragon Ball Daima would have actually ended a lot faster. And even if Goma did have his third eye and he was way more powerful, looking like a ripoff of the Pride Troopers, it wouldn't have mattered because Goku already has Super Saiyan 4, and albeit he's way stronger than his original self. So he would have won and defeated Goma, and that would have been the end of Dragon Ball Daima as we currently know. Now, as for the Battle Gods arc, Goku would be immediately interested to fight Beerus. Now, Beerus wants to see this ape-looking form that he has. It's all red hair and etc. Goku would immediately agree, so Goku would then transform, skipping his other forms, to his final form, aka Super Saiyan 4. Now, his and Beerus' fight would be a little bit better, as Goku in a Super Saiyan 4 state by this point is a lot more powerful than Vegito. Not as strong as he was as a Super Saiyan God, but stronger than Vegito for sure. But as we know, Goku even knew that Vegito was not enough to beat Beerus when he first fought him. Goku would handle himself a lot better, but Beerus, of course, was toying with him, and Beerus was kind of impressed for a mortal that's really high power, but it's not a Super Saiyan God. That's what he wants to fight. Now, as for Goku, he knows that he needs to kind of figure something out and kind of beat Beerus. Well, Goku does have one more trick up the sleeve. As he's been saving this form for a while, he didn't want to use it yet. And Beerus was like, "Oh, so you have something else." Now, Goku was still in the middle of fighting Beerus, and Beerus was about to finish fight, but Goku's not done yet. He says, "Well, I've been wanting to save it, but I guess I'll show you now." Goku would then go into his 5th form. Similar to how Cooler has his, Goku's different. Well, Goku would then begin transforming as his hair grows a bit longer, almost like a blend between Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 3. his hair becomes white, same with his fur, becoming a silverish white color. And Goku's eyes become red as his power is much higher. Now, we don't know the actual multiplier for Super Saiyan 5. We don't know the multiplier for a 5th form in Frieza's race. That's a whole conundrum. Now, we do know that Cooler originally was comparative to Goku in his base form at his final form. Now, when he went into his 5th form, Kaioken times 20 had 0 effect on him. So he was at least 25 times or higher. Because then Super Saiyan Goku Cooler had 0 effect on. You would need to at least be twice the strength for punches to have no effect, and he wasn't even affecting Goku at all. Only his supernova made Goku worried. And that's okay, because Frieza races do have more powerful ki reserves. So if the form is at least, and this is lowballing it, if he gets a 25 times boost to Super Saiyan 4, that would basically increase his power massively, because Super Saiyan 4 is already 4,000 times. So if he times that by 25, that's a 100,000 times increase. So long story short, he's way more powerful, and Beerus is quite impressed. Now, Goku was already stronger than Vegito, a lot more powerful, not in the realm of Super Saiyan God yet, but when he goes into his 5th form, he's now touching the realms of his Super Saiyan God power. Now, mind you though, he doesn't have God Ki, which makes it more difficult for him to find Beerus and God Ki stronger. Well, Beerus is now a bit more impressed. Now, this is what he's talking about. He's never seen a mortal without God Ki this strong. This is impressing him. Well, Goku would then fly in and start fighting Beerus in this new form. Everybody else was shocked to see that Goku had a form past it. Vegeta was, oh my god, he was fuming because he was really mad that Goku has a new form. Well, we would then have Goku continuing to fight Beerus, continuing to push him, and Goku's continuing to evolve and grow stronger, because that's just the whole point of the whole Beerus fight. Now, Beerus is impressed. The fact that he doesn't even have Mortal Ki is really impressing him, but he wants to fight a Super Saiyan God. That's what he's here for. So, in the end, though, Goku would not be enough to beat Beerus, but he does satisfy Beerus. So, if Beerus did not get the Super Saiyan God, he would kind of be happy enough, but he still wants to fight it. He's a bit of a whiny guy. Well, they would use the Dragon Balls to then ask the Super Saiyan God to appear. Of course, that's not the case. As Shenron would explain the story, he would then explain that you need 5 Saiyans to give their energy to 1, and this time around, it would not be Goku. And I think when Goku would offer to go up, Vegeta would immediately butt in and say, not this time, you had your chance to fight him, and you even have a new form that you never told me about, I'm stepping up. And Goku would actually respect Vegeta enough to let him do this. Vegeta has to do this, as he has to kind of get over his fear of Beerus, as Beerus never hit Bulma this time, so he never dropped that fear. So he's still terrified, but he has to do it. So all 5 Saiyans would then go Super Saiyan. They would all give his power to Vegeta. So Vegeta fans, W. Vegeta becomes the Super Saiyan God instead of Goku. And Vegeta's power is now comparative to Super Saiyan 5 Goku. Vegeta technically is a little bit stronger because God energy is stronger than normal Ki. Now, we know that becomes redundant later on in Super, but you get the memo. Now, when Vegeta goes to fight Beerus, Vegeta does really well. He handles himself pretty well, getting used to the power, getting stronger as he's utilizing it, using 100%. He would then use his Final Flash technique out in space, hitting Beerus with everything that he had. Beerus was really impressed, since Final Flash makes you twice as more powerful. It's ridiculous. Final Flash is ridiculous with how strong it is, and even higher. Beerus was impressed by it, as Vegeta really showed himself. He's even surpassed the other Saiyan, Goku. That's impressive. As now, Vegeta would then lose the power being back in Super Saiyan. Beerus would not push Vegeta on because he's satisfied enough now. He had 2 amazing fights, and he was very, very, very pleased. So he would then tell Vegeta and Goku that he's very impressed, they ought to be proud of themselves, and he's tired enough, so he's going to go back and go do his own thing. Now, Vegeta would still persuade Whis to go train him first for the next couple of months, and Goku would be able to come along. So Vegeta actually, in this What If, is actually stronger than Goku currently. And if he goes Super Saiyan God, he's actually stronger than Super Saiyan 5 Goku, or his 5th form Goku. Well, now we're going to touch on how Goku's next forms are going to work, as Frieza did unlock 2 more forms through training, but we'll get to this in a minute. Now remember, Frieza's a freak of nature, as he had a lot of potential pulled away. Goku's been training his whole life, so it's a bit different. And also, he's on a Frost team and he's a Saiyan, but the concept of the forms is similar. But I already have a concept for how Goku's going to unlock his next forms. And we'll get into this in 1 second. So, as for Goku, when he begins his training with Whis and Vegeta, Whis explains that Goku, how he handles his transformations is different. He figures out that Goku's true form is a Super Saiyan 4 state. So he wants Goku to stay in his Super Saiyan 4 state the entire time, as that is his true self, and Goku would do so. As Whis states, now you can train yourself to the fullest. Goku never thought about that before, as he mainly just trains in his first form. Whis explains, well, then you're not training to your full potential. If you go into your true natural form, which is what you should be in, you can now train fully and not hold back on your training. So Goku would actually do this, and his potential would skyrocket. He'd become a lot more powerful, as this is his true form. And for Vegeta, of course, him and Goku kind of even themselves out, but we'll touch on Goku's forms in a minute. Well, Vegeta would still unlock Super Saiyan Blue. Goku unlocks something else. Whis has an idea. As Whis loves experimenting in a way, he says, what if we mix God energy with that fifth form that you have? What would happen if we mix the two together? As this fifth form, or even your fourth form, is your true state. How interesting would it be if we mix God energy with that? What would happen? As this really intrigues Whis as he wants to try it. So, Goku would kind of evolve his Super Saiyan 4 state by adding God Ki to it, thus mixing Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 5 state together with God Ki, making something very special. Since Super Saiyan 5 is basically a battle form, as that's what Cooler's form is called, it's like a mutated battle form, so that's what Super Saiyan 5 is. So what happens if you mix God energy with that? What would you create? What kind of monster would you make? Well, Champa would still arrive like he did in the original. Now, before we jump to Champa, what about Frieza? Well, if Frieza did arrive, Goku and Vegeta are stronger than the original, because Vegeta has a stronger opponent to fight and get Zenkais from. I feel like Frieza would want to fight Goku first, which is not a surprise. And if that was the case, then Goku would showcase Super Saiyan 4, then Super Saiyan 5. Then he would showcase his new form. And his new form is Blue, or Super Saiyan 5 Blue, which I know is a mouthful. So Goku just changes it. He says you can just call this Super Saiyan Blue if you want for short. Now, it's basically Super Saiyan 4. It looks similar to Super Saiyan 4, but it has blue fur. And he's blending God Ki with the power of Super Saiyan 4, calming the energy, thus making a new power. And his power is absolutely ridiculous. The fact is that Super Saiyan Blue is just that. It's Super Saiyan mixed with God energy. So imagine a Super Saiyan 4, or even, goodness gracious, a Super Saiyan 5 with God energy. It's literally ridiculous. And Vegeta knows that Goku had this power, and he's kind of mad about it, but Vegeta has his own forms as well that he's not going to talk about just yet, that he's been pushing. Well, we all know how this is going to go, as Frieza would have no effect on Goku. Goku's way too strong. And when Vegeta does butt in, I think Goku would let him, since Frieza's no challenge to him. So Vegeta would jump up and he would begin battling Frieza. Now, when we do cut forward, we would have Frieza trying to fight Vegeta, but his energy's running out, so Vegeta would overpower him. I still think that Frieza would try to blow up the planet, but Goku was still in his form. So Goku would catch him off guard and grab him before Frieza could. Then he would kill Frieza by throwing Frieza in the air, telling Vegeta to do it quickly. Vegeta would then fire a final flash right at Frieza, as Frieza was back in his final form and Frieza was annihilated. So Vegeta still technically gets the W, so that's W for Vegeta once again. Hey man, Vegeta's getting W's left and right. Well, as for Goku, Goku would then go back to Whis' world alongside Vegeta to continue their training. Now Champa would still arrive, challenge Beerus to a match over Ramen as usual over the Super Dragon Balls. And Beerus is very cocky. He's very confident because Goku is so strong. Beerus was really impressed by Goku's power, and he definitely wants to fight him again, but we'll touch base on that in a minute. Well, we would then have Goku ride with the others. Now, I think the matchups would go similar. Goku would still lose to Frost because Frost still poisons him and knocks him out of the ring. Now, this would mean that Piccolo would step up, but Piccolo was almost knocked out of the ring. Jocko finds out that Frieza was cheating, and for Frost was cheating, and Vegeta would still kind of keep Frost in the match. He would tell Piccolo to step out, so Piccolo does. So technically, it's just basically Vegeta and Goku now. And Vegeta would easily bliss through Frost. He would teach Kaba how to go Super Saiyan. Pretty much the fights are the exact same, up until we'll reach Hit, as Vegeta just defeated Vegeta, turning Super Saiyan, use the Final Flash to overpower him. When he fights Hit, Vegeta make the fatal mistake of going Super Saiyan Blue before to showcase to Kaba. And the problem with that, though, we stated, that if Super Saiyan Blue is turned on and off like that, you then only utilize 1/3 of the strength, because that's not a form that you just tap in and out of, as it has severe stamina issues and it drains a lot of energy. So, Vegeta would be overpowered by Hit initially. Right? Especially since Hit is overpowering Vegeta. I know Vegeta is a little bit stronger than the original, but he doesn't know Hit's time skip, and Hit is only going to get stronger. Vegeta just ran out of a lot of power. So Hit's defeating him. When Hit tries to go for his final attack on Vegeta, Vegeta would then catch it this time, surprising everybody except Goku and Whis and Beerus. As Vegeta would then push Hit backwards, he would then smirk and say, "Do you really think that would end me?" He would then begin to power up as his hair turns into a darker color and he has sparkles on his body. He would then transform into Blue Evolution. Because he knows that Goku is so much stronger than him, he pushes Super Saiyan Blue past its limits, and he would unlock this power while he was training with Goku. Remember, because he has more motivation to get stronger. They're not equal. Now, Vegeta in his Blue Evolution form, is he stronger than Super Saiyan 4 Blue Goku or Super Saiyan Blue Goku? No, he's not, but he did close the gap a teeny bit, but Goku's still way stronger than him. Well, Vegeta would begin to overpower Hit, since remember, even times 10 Goku overpowered Hit originally. Now, I know that Vegeta's only using so much of his strength, but this is a new form that we saw Vegeta use even when he had no energy left and little stamina during the turn of power. He could still tap into it. So, Vegeta would dominate Hit in their match and overpower him. He's still getting used to the time skip, and this time around, when Vegeta would then use a Final Flash, surprising Hit off guard. As Hit would try using his time skip, Vegeta would catch him off guard, and Vegeta would then get him out of the ring. When he tries firing the Final Flash, he would miss, but Vegeta would then grab Hit's leg, and he would drag himself and Hit off the ring. When the announcer goes back to look at who fell first, it was Hit. Just by a split second, Hit was the first one to be knocked out. And Goku's still the last fighter, so Universe 7 won. Now, Champa was furious, and he would threaten to actually kill Hit. But before he could, Zeno would still arrive. Goku would still befriend Zeno just like before, ask him to do this again sometime. Zeno offers to come play with him next time, which would still happen. Now, what about the Goku Black Arc? Well, for the Goku Black Arc, originally, this will still be the original Future Timelines Trunks. This would still be the original Goku Black. It wouldn't make any sense for Goku Black to get a custom what-if power, as that's a totally branched off scenario. So it's still the original Goku Black. Now, he would still arrive like the original to this timeline, and he would have a little match against Super Saiyan 2 Goku, just the exact same, wouldn't go much different. Now, when Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta go to the future, Vegeta would be fatally stabbed by Goku Black, if you guys remember, because he was caught off guard. Now, this is when Goku was also outnumbered because Zamasu and Goku Black teamed up, but Goku's stronger. Goku would then showcase Super Saiyan 4, which Goku Black thought was a beautiful primitive form, but not godly. Goku would then ascend further since Goku Black was in Rose, as Goku would then go into his Super Saiyan Blue 4 state, or Super Saiyan Blue 4, is what we might call it. His power far exceeds that of even Merge Zamasu. He's way too strong. So he absolutely annihilates Goku Black and Zamasu. Now they see that they are on a losing end, so they would still use an Emerge Zamasu. Goku can still fight them, but it is a very close fight. It's a very tough fight. But Goku can hold his own. Now Vegeta, again, the Supreme Kai and Gawasu, would they be there? Either if they are or not. Still, though, Vegeta is in critical condition. Well, Zamasu begins mutating and he's actually growing stronger. Goku knows that he needs to do something quick. As Trunks begins forming up the Spirit Sword just like before, and Trunks would then come in to help Goku, helping him with the Spirit Sword, cutting Zamasu in half, destroying his body. Unfortunately, though, Zamasu still covers the entire universe. Goku still has the Zeno button. Thus, Goku would still summon Zeno, ask him to destroy the universe. They would also go back to that timeline, and they would also grab the second Zeno. So Zeno does have a buddy, so Goku still kept his promise. So that would all go the same. And Trunks would just be brought to a copy timeline where there is peacefulness. So everything kind of went back to normal. Now, what about the Tournament of Power? Well, as for the Tournament of Power, since Goku will be the main threat, he's the reason the whole thing started, Toppo would still fight Goku. Goku would probably just need to go Super Saiyan 5 to overpower Toppo initially. And yes, Toppo would have been defeated. Well, Toppo would realize that this mortal is really powerful, but nothing compared to Jiren. Well, when the Tournament of Power starts, most of the Z fighters are the same. The only difference here is that Gohan did get Mystic because remember I said before in the Buu Saga, they did want to train him. So they did train him. He did break the Z Sword by accident with Ketchin, and thus Elder Kai was born. Or aka brought back because he was trapped. And yes, he was still unlocked Gohan's potential, so Gohan still has Mystic. So Gohan's not a weakling. Gohan still is keeping his training up, as per Goku, remember, training him more, and Piccolo still keeping it on him to continue to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Well, this is when Goku and the others would then jump in. Jiren will be the first one to go after Goku, since Goku's the biggest threat. Now, when Goku goes Super Saiyan 5, and he goes to fight Jiren, Jiren overpowers Goku, with not much of a problem. As Goku's being overwhelmed, Goku would then push his power further and go into his Super Saiyan Blue 4. And Jiren is struggling a little bit, as Goku's able to fight him pretty well, but as Goku's a lot more powerful than he was with Kaioken times 20, way stronger. And Jiren would then realize he needs to use more power. So when Jiren uses his full power in his quote-unquote holding back form, not his limit breaker, he would overpower Goku and nearly knock him out of the ring. Well, Goku would not utilize the Spirit Bomb this time. So what would Goku do? Well, Goku would then begin powering up as he has a power that might give him a slight edge. As he begins pushing further and further, the whole tournament power stops to watch what Goku's doing as Jiren is shocked, but he's letting Goku do it, as he wants to see Goku's true might. As Belmont is freaking out, telling Jiren to stop him, what is he doing? Goku would then unlock his new power that he's been working on. This new power is Super Saiyan Blue 5. He mixes the blue power with Super Saiyan 5, which is a more unstable form, but he was able to master it, figure it out, and now he's way, way stronger. Jiren was impressed with his power, but he says don't get cocky. Well, we know how that'll go, as now Goku would immediately start to overpower Jiren, tossing him around the ring. MUI style, Jiren is getting overwhelmed. Jiren would still unlock Limit Breaker, but the battle would be so intense that a lot of people would be knocked out of the ring because of the power, and also tournament powers being split apart, being destroyed. Gohan would also have a legendary fight against Kefla as well, but we'll get to that in a minute. Goku would be able to defeat Jiren, knocking him out of the ring. But Goku was severely wounded and very, very tired. He didn't have much energy left. Now, would they also resurrect Frieza? That's up for debate, and I think Goku probably would still do it because they need all the help that they can get. So I think Goku will probably still get Frieza back, which is one of the dumbest mistakes, but we'll get on that in a minute. As now, Frieza would still give some energy to Goku to help him out to continue fighting. So yes, and also for Kale and Caulifla, they would also fight Gohan. And Gohan's in his mystic state. He's continued his training. So Gohan is stronger than Kale and Caulifla easily. They wouldn't be able to match him. When they do fuse into Kefla going Super Saiyan 2, they would start to overpower Gohan. And Gohan would then realize that he needs to tap into more power as he's about to lose. And he would then see pictures of Videl and Pan flash through his mind as he could imagine them disappearing under Zeno's, erasing. Piccolo would then tell Gohan to let it all go and to basically snap. Gohan would then unlock Beast Form. And Goku was so shocked to see Gohan's power, but he's so proud of his son, as Gohan's new Beast Form absolutely dominates Kefla and knocks her out of the ring. And when Ani Laza's there as well, he treats him like Cell Max. He uses his Beast Cannon, which I love calling it that, instead of Special Beam Cannon, and he would then fire it right at Ani Laza, knocking him out of the ring as well. Now, Vegeta would still have his match against Toppo, and Dispo has no chance against Gohan to be swept out of the ring. And Toppo still has his match against Vegeta. Vegeta would defeat him with Blue Evolution. Even if Toppo went God Destruction mode, Vegeta would have still won. So they would have won the whole tournament of power. They're just too powerful. So they would have won the whole thing. Now, since Frieza was brought back to life as a gift from Beerus, the Broly movie would still happen. Now, Frieza would still kill Paragus, which would then make Broly snap, turning into a Super Saiyan just like the original. Now, originally they needed fusion, but they have a Goku. Goku would be able to go Super Saiyan 4 Blue, or Super Saiyan Blue 4 for short. And he would overpower Broly. When Broly goes into his full power state, Goku knows that he needs to end the fight. So Goku would go into Super Saiyan Blue 5, and with the full power Kamehameha, he would nearly kill Broly, but they would wish him back to planet Vampa. And the same scene would have happened where he would have met Broly. Broly and Sheila and Lemma would have still gone to Beerus' world later on to continue training to get stronger, but we'll touch the base on that in a minute. Now, as for the other arcs, such as the Moro arc, that would go practically the same. The only difference here is since Goku would basically be as strong as he was as MUI, he would never technically unlock it because he never had the Spirit Bomb explosion. And if that was the case, there are two routes. Either Goku is able to defeat Moro by overpowering him, or you would have Beerus show up and defeat Moro by using a Hakai and defeating him. Those are the two routes for the Moro arc, and that is up for you to interpret on your own. Or they could also do Fusion and defeat Moro too. But again, they don't really know the Fusion dance, so that's up for debate. You could say that they do maybe use one of the Fusion bugs that they have down there in Dragon Ball Daima, but that's for the Demon Realm. So again, that's a whole other cup of tea to kind of spill out. But that's how it basically ended. It would end with either Goku somehow defeating Moro, either getting energy from his friends, he gets a power buff, he defeats him, overwhelms his power, and he destroys the whole planet. Or Moro gets defeated by Beerus, who jumps in, saving Goku and them by using Hakai. That's really up for what you guys want to debate. That's up for you. Now, we are going to cut forward into the Granola Gas arc. That would not happen, and even if it did, they would be defeated much faster because Goku's so much stronger, and he's evolving and getting stronger too alongside Vegeta. Vegeta would have Ultra Ego by this point, that they would have been aging too fast. If Black Frieza did show up, he would have still probably defeated Goku and Vegeta since he got so much stronger, and he would basically kind of dip out, do his usual thing. Well, Goku is in need of a new form, but that's later on. And, well, other than that, other than the other arcs, such as the Red Ribbon Army arc with Cell Max, Gohan already has Beast form, and if Piccolo did unlock a Jordan's form, that's even more. So they would have easily defeated Cell Max and defeated him. Now, jumping back to the Frieza arc, I want to kind of finish the arc on my own terms. Is when Goku, Vegeta, Broly, Gohan, they're all training on Beerus' world doing their usual thing, Goku does have the scratchings of a new form. He's trained and become much more powerful. And he knows that he does have a new form, and he can feel it, but he has to push himself to be able to tap into it yet, but he doesn't know yet. And he asks Whis if they can go into his staff to continue training with just Whis. Whis would agree, so Goku goes in there with Whis for a little while to continue training. Now, when the time does come to battle Frieza once again, since Goku feels like he's ready, Frieza has his black form just like before, and I think Frieza would still have his golden form, because originally, Goku would have a new form. And just to kind of make fun of Frieza, he would kind of copy him. And so when Goku transforms, it looks like a Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 5, but the fur is now black. And he kind of copied Frieza style with red eyes. And when he battles Frieza, they're almost even in power, but Goku would win with the help of his friends, giving him some energy, and he would finally defeat Frieza by using a Dragon Fist, defeating him, thus ending the Black Frieza arc. That is what I would probably see this what if ending like, but we don't know yet since we haven't officially seen it in Super just yet. But anyway, that is it for this series, you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Let me know what you guys think down below, and make sure to check out the community post for the post to post your ideas, and also check out the polls as well to put your vote down for the next what if idea. Thank you all so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. You guys are the best. We'll see to 50,000 subscribers, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.